The night has deepened fully. You and I sit here together in wordless stillness, breathing in, breathing out slowly, like the breath of the earth and sky. If this moment brings you even a little peace, please leave a silent dot by pressing follow. Where are you listening from? And what time is it inside your heart? Now dim the lights, let the darkness gently embrace you and step lightly into the dream. You settle into your place, feeling the quiet stretch out around you like a soft, dark blanket. The air is cool, but not cold, wrapping you in calm as your breath begins to slow, deepening naturally, without effort. Each inhale is like a quiet invitation. Each exhale, a gentle release. You breathe with the steady rhythm of the world, the unseen pulse of life that carries everything forward effortlessly and endlessly. Here in this moment, there is nothing urgent. No rushing thoughts, no demands from outside or inside. Just you and the night, the breath and the stillness. This is the heart of Buddhism, a path not tied to temples or texts, but to this simple living presence. Sometimes it is called the religion of no religion, because it asks not for belief, but for experience, not for dogma, but for openness. It invites you to meet yourself here, just as you are, with kindness and curiosity. Imagine your mind as a quiet lake at night. The surface is still reflecting the stars. When you settle your thoughts, they become like ripples fading away, leaving the water clear and deep. This is the breath of presence, the doorway to peace. In Buddhism, this breath is a teacher. It shows you impermanence, the truth that all things are always changing. Each breath rises and falls, never the same, never held. And yet it carries you steady and true. The Zen masters teach by example and story, often without words. One old teacher once sat silently through an entire rainy season, his presence speaking louder than any sermon. He showed that sometimes the greatest wisdom is found in quiet waiting, in stillness that does not force but simply is. Tonight, as you breathe, notice what is here. The rise and fall of your chest, the softness of the air on your skin, the gentle rhythm that connects you to the earth beneath and the vast sky above. Let yourself rest in this simple being. If any thought comes, welcome it like a passing cloud and let it drift away. Return to your breath, steady and calm. And now I invite you to gently consider this. If the answer to your restless mind has no words, what will silence say instead? Breathe in peace. Breathe out tension. You are safe here. The phrase, the religion of no religion, might sound like a paradox, but it holds a deep invitation. Buddhism does not demand belief in gods or rigid doctrines. Instead, it offers a path of direct experience. It is less about what you believe and more about what you notice, the living reality of your breath, your mind, your body, and the world around you. Imagine yourself walking along a quiet path in a dense forest. The trees stretch high, their leaves whispering softly in the breeze. You are not lost, yet you carry no map. Each step unfolds naturally without force or hesitation. This path is like the Buddhist way, open, alive, and free from strict direction. The essence of this path is openness. Openness to what is without judgment or expectation. In many religions, you are asked to accept truths handed down by others. Here, you are invited to discover truth yourself in your own experience, moment by moment. There was once a Zen master known for responding to questions with silence or unexpected gestures. One day, a visitor asked him, "What is the way to enlightenment?" The master simply held up his hand and said nothing. The visitor felt frustrated, but gradually understood that enlightenment cannot be spoken. It must be known directly beyond words and concepts. In this same spirit, Buddhism teaches you to look deeply into your own life, to see clearly the nature of reality without the filter of beliefs or fears. You do not have to accept anything blindly. Instead, you are encouraged to experiment with mindfulness, compassion, and awareness, and to see what unfolds. This no religion is a letting go of clinging not only to ideas about what is true, but to your identity, your plans, and even your struggles. It is a path of freedom, like a bird released from its cage, able to fly freely through the vast sky. Tonight, as you breathe gently, invite yourself to loosen any tightness around belief or doubt. Let your mind open like the sky after rain, vast, clear, and welcoming all that is. If you find resistance, notice it with kindness. Resistance is only another form of holding on, and holding on to what often to ideas about safety or certainty. But true safety lies in embracing uncertainty, in trusting the flow of life itself. So gently ask yourself, what happens when you step beyond the need for answers? When you rest in the space where questions fade? What does freedom feel like in the silence between thoughts? As you breathe in, welcome this freedom. As you breathe out, release what no longer serves you. Here on this path without a path, you are exactly where you need to be. Your breath is your anchor, a quiet friend, always with you, steady and sure. In this very moment, as you inhale softly and exhale slowly, notice how the breath moves effortlessly through your body, a gentle wave rising and falling within the calm sea of your awareness. Breath is the first teacher of mindfulness, inviting you to return again and again to the present moment. Like a lighthouse shining through fog, it guides you away from the storms of distraction and worry back to safe, familiar shores. There is a Zen story about a monk walking along a mountain path. As he paused to rest, a student asked Master, "What is the secret to peace?" The master cupped his hands gently around a small stream and let the water slip slowly through his fingers. "See," he said, "peace is like water, it cannot be held tightly. It flows best when you allow it to be exactly as it is." This simple teaching reminds you that peace arises naturally when you do not grasp or resist. Your breath flows freely when you stop trying to control it. It offers a rhythm, a refuge, a doorway into stillness. As you breathe now, invite your attention to soften. Feel the coolness as air enters your nostrils, the slight pause before it leaves your body, the warmth of the exhale spreading quietly through your chest. Let your breath be just as it is, neither forced nor withheld. The Buddha taught that mindfulness of breathing is the foundation of awakening. With each breath, you cultivate awareness of impermanence, the knowing that every inhale and exhale is unique and fleeting. Like leaves drifting on a stream, each breath appears and passes away, reminding you that life is a continuous flow. Through this flow, you begin to see that clinging to permanence is the root of suffering. When you learn to let go, to trust the breath and the moment, you open to a gentle peace that is unshaken by change. Now, as you continue breathing slowly, notice any tension or tightness within your body or mind. With the out-breath, imagine this tension melting away like morning mist under soft sunlight. Breath is your companion in this journey inward, a quiet, steady rhythm that never abandons you. Whenever your mind wanders or the night feels heavy, return to this anchor, this safe harbor. And in this moment, I invite you to reflect. What if peace is not something to grasp, but something to return to again and again? Like the steady coming home of your breath. Breathe in ease. Breathe out release. You are held. Change is the quiet pulse behind all life. Every moment is fresh, never quite the same as the one before. This is the teaching of impermanence, an essential truth that can gently soften your grip on worry and fear. Imagine a single leaf drifting slowly down a calm river. It glides effortlessly, moving with the current, never trying to hold its place. This leaf is a symbol of how all things flow and transform. Your thoughts, your feelings, your body all shifting like this leaf on water. In Buddhism, impermanence is not a threat, but a friend reminding you that nothing stays stuck, nothing remains painful forever. Even the heaviest burdens you carry have their own time to fade. There is a Zen story about a monk who kept a stone in his hand all day long. When asked why, he said, "This stone reminds me that nothing is permanent, not even the weight I feel." Through this simple act, he learned to meet hardship with openness instead of resistance. As you lie here breathing softly, consider how impermanence touches every part of your being. Each breath is new. Each heartbeat is a fresh rhythm. Nothing stays exactly the same, not your thoughts, your body, or the world around you. If you hold tightly to the idea of permanence, you may feel trapped by fear of loss, of change, of the unknown. But when you relax your grip and welcome change as a natural dance of life, peace begins to bloom in that space. Let your mind drift to the gentle rhythm of your breath again. With each inhale, feel the fresh energy of change entering you. With each exhale, release the need to control or hold on. This moment will never come again, and that is its quiet gift. If the leaf does not cling to the river, neither must you cling to the past or the future. Allow yourself to flow with life's current, calm and steady. So now I invite you to gently ask yourself, what would it be like to rest fully in the knowing that all things change, and that in this change you are free? Breathe in openness. Breathe out surrender. You are here now and whole. The Zen master's silence can be louder than any words. Imagine sitting beside an old teacher who does not speak yet teaches everything by simply being. His presence, calm and steady, is like a still pond, reflecting the sky without distortion. One winter, a student came to a master seeking answers. The master said nothing, just sat in silence through the falling snow. Days turned into weeks. The student grew restless but stayed. Slowly, in the quiet understanding, dawned that wisdom is not always spoken but lived. Silence is a doorway. When the mind quiets, space opens up inside, a space free from chatter, from judgment, from the endless noise that pulls you away from rest. It is here in this stillness that true insight begins to unfold. You breathe quietly, feeling the pause between each inhale and exhale. noticing how this silence is never empty but full of gentle life. The night embraces you like the silent teacher offering peace without demand. The Buddha taught that the mind often clings to words, to stories, to concepts. But these are like shadows on a wall, fleeting and insubstantial. True understanding comes not from holding on, but from letting go. Tonight, as you rest, listen to the silence that surrounds and fills you. Let it wash over your thoughts like a soft rain dissolving tension and worry. If a question arises in your mind, what is peace, what is true? Notice how it slowly fades when met with stillness. Without pushing or grasping, you allow the silence to answer in its own way. In this quiet, you may find a gentle whisper, the unspoken wisdom of being here now just as you are. And so I invite you to settle deeper into the silence. If the answer has no words, what will silence say instead? Breathe softly, rest fully. You are held in quiet grace. Suffering dukkha is a word that holds many shades, often heavy and unsettling. But in Buddhism, it is not a curse to fear. It is a doorway to deeper compassion, both for yourself and for all beings. Imagine a potter shaping clay. The clay must be soft enough to mold, yet firm enough to hold form. Suffering like this soft clay shapes your heart's capacity for kindness. It is not the enemy, but the quiet teacher who asks you to look deeply to understand what lies beneath pain. The Buddha spoke of suffering not to keep you trapped, but to awaken you. When you acknowledge the discomfort within without resistance, you begin to see it with new eyes, less as a burden and more as a path. There is a Zen tale of a man who carried a heavy load across a river. At first he struggled and grumbled under the weight. Then he realized the burden was part of his journey, shaping his strength and wisdom. When he stopped fighting it, he crossed more lightly. Tonight, as you breathe, slowly feel the gentle presence of your own struggles. They are not separate from you. They are woven into your experience like the soft threads in a tapestry. Let your breath be a balm, soothing the sharp edges of pain, inviting patience and kindness inward. Suffering becomes less frightening when you meet it without fear, when you allow yourself to feel deeply without being overwhelmed. It softens into a quiet invitation to grow. If your mind tightens around difficulty, gently ask, what if this moment of discomfort is not the end, but the beginning of compassion? What if through suffering, the heart learns to open wider? In this peaceful night, with the breath as your guide, rest in the understanding that suffering, like all things, flows and changes. Breathe in acceptance. Breathe out resistance. You are safe here. The mind often fills with noise, endless thoughts, worries, plans that crowd your awareness and pull you away from rest. Letting go of this mental clutter is a gentle art, a practice of releasing without force. Picture a tree shedding its leaves in autumn. It does not cling to what has served its purpose. Instead, it releases gracefully, making space for new growth. Your mind, too, can shed its burdens, creating quiet space where peace can settle. A Zen story tells of a monk who carried a heavy pack filled with stones. One day, he decided to drop the pack by the roadside, feeling lighter and freer than before. The stones were not gone, but without carrying them, he could walk with ease. Tonight, notice where your mind feels heavy or crowded. Without judgment, allow those thoughts and tensions to drift away like autumn leaves on the wind. Your breath is the natural rhythm that invites ease. As you inhale, gather your scattered attention gently. As you exhale, release what no longer serves you. This practice of letting go is not about emptying the mind completely, but about creating a gentle space where you can rest without disturbance. Consider this moment an invitation to trust the natural ebb and flow of thoughts, like waves touching the shore, then retreating. If resistance arises, an urge to hold on tightly, acknowledge it kindly. Often clinging comes from fear of loss or uncertainty. But here in the quiet night, you are safe to let go. What might happen if you allowed yourself to rest in spaciousness, free from the weight of mental clutter? Breathe in openness. Breathe out release. Peace is waiting within you. Everything is connected. Nothing stands alone. This is the teaching of interdependence or dependent origination, a truth that gently dissolves the walls between self and other, between mind and world. Picture a spider's web shimmering with morning dew. Each strand supports the whole, and each droplet reflects the entire web. Pull one thread, and the entire structure responds. So too, your life is woven into the vast fabric of existence. The Buddha said, "When this exists, that comes to be. With the arising of this that arises. Nothing arises independently. Your breath, your thoughts, the beating of your heart all arise because of countless causes and conditions." There is a Zen parable of a farmer who lost his horse. The neighbors lamented his bad luck, but the farmer said, "Maybe so, maybe not." When the horse returned with a wild companion, the neighbors rejoiced, and again the farmer said, "Maybe so, maybe not." This openness reflects the flow of interdependence beyond fixed judgments. Tonight, as you breathe gently, sense the connection that flows through you. Feel how your breath arises with the air, your body supported by the earth beneath. Your thoughts ripple out, touching the lives of others in ways unseen. In this interwoven dance, no moment is isolated. Even your rest, your stillness, is part of a larger whole. When you feel alone or separate, remember the web of life holding you tenderly. The very night sky, the quiet air, and your peaceful breath are threads in this shared existence. Now softly ask yourself, how might life change if you live aware of this deep connection? How does knowing you are part of everything shift your view of yourself and your troubles? Breathe in the unity of all things. Breathe out the illusion of separateness. You belong fully and completely. Perception shapes reality. The way you see the world colors your experience deeply. The Zen parable of the empty boat offers a gentle lesson in this truth. Imagine yourself rowing a boat down a calm river. Suddenly, another boat drifts into your path. You feel anger rising. Who dares to block you? But as you look closer, you see that the boat is empty, drifting aimlessly with the current. Your anger, it turns out, was directed not at a person, but at your own expectations and judgments. This story invites you to observe how your mind creates stories, sometimes stirring trouble where none exists. When you meet obstacles, do you react with resistance, or do you let the moment be as it is? Tonight, as you breathe slowly, notice where your mind adds meaning or drama to simple events. Are there empty boats floating through your thoughts, stirring waves where calm could be? Allow yourself to meet each moment with openness, like a gentle river flowing around rocks, rather than crashing against them. The Buddha taught that suffering often arises not from events themselves, but from the stories we tell about them. Now, in the quiet of the night, consider this. What if you could see clearly the difference between what is real and what your mind imagines? How would this shift your peace? Breathe in clarity. Breathe out reactivity. Rest in gentle awareness. In the stillness of night, you might find yourself returning to the Four Noble Truths, the heart of the Buddha's teaching. They are simple yet profound, guiding you gently toward understanding and ease. The first truth acknowledges suffering not as a condemnation, but as an honest reflection of life's challenges. In every breath, there may be discomfort or restlessness. This truth welcomes you to see suffering without denial. The second truth points to the causes of suffering: attachment, craving, and clinging to what is fleeting. Like holding tightly to water in your hands, the more you grasp, the more slips away. The third truth offers hope suffering can cease. Peace is possible when craving is released and the heart rests. The fourth truth is the path, a way of mindful living, compassion and balance, leading you gently out of turmoil. There is a Zen story of a traveler seeking a path through the mountains. An old guide gave no map but offered steady company and simple directions. Take one step at a time. Watch your breath. Be kind to yourself. The traveler found peace not in reaching a destination, but in walking mindfully. Tonight, as you lie quietly, breathe in these truths like a soft mantra. Let them settle like snowflakes covering the ground with calm. If your mind wanders, return gently to the breath and the path beneath your feet. And now I invite you to reflect. How can embracing these truths soften the weight you carry? What happens when you stop resisting and begin to walk the path of mindful presence? Breathe in acceptance. Breathe out struggle. You are exactly where you need to be. The middle path is the gentle road that weaves between extremes, a way of balance that invites you to walk with ease through life's complexities. It is neither clinging nor rejection, neither indulgence nor denial, but a steady harmony. Picture yourself walking along a narrow bridge suspended over a quiet river. Step by step, you find your balance, careful yet free. This bridge is the middle path, a delicate dance between too much and too little, between grasping and pushing away. The Buddha discovered this way after wandering through hardship and excess. He realized that peace arises not from extremes, but from finding the point of calm in between. There's a Zen story of a monk who tried to hold a bowl too tightly. It slipped and broke. Then he learned to hold it gently with mindful care, and the bowl stayed safe. This teaches that effort balanced with ease creates harmony. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, invite your mind and body to find their middle ground. Let go of tension and slackness. Find the soft tension of balance, a natural, comfortable state. Notice how the breath flows evenly, neither forced nor shallow. Feel your heartbeat steady, your muscles relaxed but alive. If you find yourself pulled toward worry or restlessness, gently guide yourself back to the center. Now, in this quiet moment, ask yourself, what does balance feel like within you? How can walking the middle path bring peace to your night and your life? Breathe in calm. Breathe out resistance. Step softly on your path. The moonlight gently spills across the still surface of a pond, its glow soft and ungraspable. In Zen imagery, this quiet light symbolizes effortless presence, a state of being without clinging or striving. Imagine the moon's reflection shimmering on water, shifting with every ripple, yet always whole. Like this, your awareness can rest lightly on experience, neither holding too tightly nor drifting away. A Zen master once said that trying to grasp the moon's reflection is like chasing shadows. True presence comes when you release the urge to control and simply open to what is. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, picture this moonlight within your mind. Let it illuminate your thoughts without disturbance, touching them softly before moving on. Feel how your breath flows gently, calm and steady like the night air. Your body settles deeper into comfort, held by the quiet glow of awareness. If restlessness arises, imagine it as ripples on the pond, temporary, natural, and passing. Now I invite you to contemplate what happens when you rest, as the moonlight present yet unattached, clear yet gentle. How does this lightness soften your experience of yourself? Breathe in this gentle illumination. Breathe out any grasping. You are luminous in stillness. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is the presence of deep listening. When you quiet the mind's endless chatter, you open a space where true awareness blooms. Imagine sitting in a forest, the air thick with stillness. You listen not just with your ears, but with your whole being. The rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird, the subtle whisper of the breeze all become part of a greater song of presence. The Zen tradition invites you to listen beyond thoughts, beyond words, to the silence that underlies everything. This silence holds your breath, your heartbeats, and the quiet unfolding of the night. There is a story of a student who asked the master how to find enlightenment. The master replied, "Listen carefully to the silence between your words." The student learned that the greatest truths often lie in what is not spoken. Tonight, as you rest, tune your attention inward. Notice the spaces between thoughts, the pauses, the gentle gaps. In these spaces, the mind rests and the heart expands. If your thoughts begin to crowd the silence, welcome them gently and let them pass like clouds across a clear sky. Now softly ask yourself, what does the silence say when you listen with your whole being? How does deep listening change your sense of peace? Breathe in stillness. Breathe out distraction. You are embraced by quiet. The sound of one hand clapping is a classic Zen koan, a paradox that invites you beyond logic into a place where words fall away and only pure awareness remains. Imagine holding one hand up, waiting to hear the clap that never comes. The question is not about sound, but about presence. It challenges the mind to rest in the mystery of being without grasping for answers. This koan teaches that sometimes the deepest understanding arises not from thought, but from direct experience, a stillness where opposites dissolve, and silence speaks louder than any noise. There was once a monk who meditated on this koan for many days. Frustrated by the lack of a clear answer, he finally let go of searching. In that moment of surrender, a profound peace blossomed within him. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, bring your attention to this paradox. Let the question hang gently without urgency or expectation. Allow your mind to soften into the spaciousness that contains the unanswerable. If frustration arises, welcome it kindly, knowing that this too is part of the path. Now I invite you to rest in this unknowing, where the sound of one hand clapping becomes the sound of your peaceful presence. Whole, silent, and free. Breathe in mystery. Breathe out seeking. You are complete here. In the quiet moments of night, you may find joy not in grand events but in simple wonders. The soft glow of a firefly, the gentle rustle of leaves, the steady breath within you. This is the garden of simple joys, where peace grows quietly and steadily. Imagine a small wildflower blooming beside a worn path, unnoticed by many but perfect in its own unfolding. These small moments are gifts, reminders that life is full of gentle beauty waiting to be seen. A Zen story tells of a monk who found happiness not in riches or fame, but in watching the sunrise and feeling the cool breeze. His joy was simple, yet profound, rooted in presence rather than circumstance. Tonight, as you breathe calmly, notice the small wonders within and around you. Perhaps the softness of your pillow, the warmth of your blanket, the steady rhythm of your heart. These are treasures that need no applause or recognition. Let yourself rest in gratitude for these quiet gifts. Let joy arise naturally without forcing or grasping. If your mind drifts toward worries or plans, gently bring it back to these simple pleasures, like returning to a familiar path. Now softly ask yourself, how does recognizing these small joys shift your experience of the night? Can peace grow in the garden of simplicity? Breathe in appreciation. Breathe out distraction. You are cradled in quiet joy. The Buddha's smile is a soft light shining from deep within, a quiet expression of compassion, peace, and gentle understanding. It is not a smile bound by words or conditions, but a radiant presence felt in the stillness. Imagine sitting beside a calm lake at dawn, watching the mist slowly lift as the sun's first light warms the water. This smile is like that light, subtle, unhurried, and illuminating everything with kindness. A Zen story speaks of a master who never spoke a harsh word, but whose presence brought comfort to all who came near. His smile was a balm, healing through quiet understanding rather than loud promises. Tonight, as you breathe gently, invite this smile into your heart. Let it soften any tension or worry, spreading warmth like a gentle fire in the cool night. Notice how peace can arise, not from changing circumstances, but from a shift inside a gentle smile that accepts what is even when it is imperfect. If shadows of doubt or fear appear, welcome them with the same kindness that the Buddha's smile holds, without judgment, without pushing away. Now softly ask yourself, what does it feel like to carry this smile within you? How does it change your view of yourself and the world? Breathe in softness. Breathe out resistance. You are embraced by gentle light. Your mind is like a mirror, clear, reflective, and ever-present. When clouds of thought drift across its surface, the mirror itself remains untouched, holding steady beneath the changing images. Imagine a calm pond early in the morning. The sky and trees are reflected perfectly, but as a breeze stirs, ripples distort the image. Still, the water's depth remains unchanged below. In Zen teachings, the mind's true nature is this clear mirror, capable of reflecting all experiences without being altered. Thoughts and emotions pass like clouds, while the essence of your awareness remains still and whole. A monk once asked his master how to find peace amid a storm of thoughts. The master replied, "Be the mirror that sees the storm, not the storm itself." This simple guidance invites you to step back from mental turbulence and rest in clarity. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, bring your attention to this mirror within. Notice thoughts as reflections, neither grasping nor pushing them away. When worries or distractions arise, imagine them as passing clouds. Let the mirror remain steady, deep, and undisturbed. Now gently ask yourself, what happens when you meet your mind as the mirror rather than the storm? How does this perspective open space for peace? Breathe in clarity. Breathe out attachment. You are still and whole. This very moment right now is a full cup, complete and whole in itself. Imagine holding a cup filled to the brim. It cannot hold more without spilling. So too, this present moment is rich and sufficient exactly as it is. A Zen story tells of a scholar who came to visit a master to learn about enlightenment. The master poured tea into the scholar's cup until it overflowed. "You are like this cup," he said, "full of your own ideas. How can I teach you unless you empty your cup?" This teaches the importance of letting go of emptying yourself to fully receive the richness of the present. Tonight, as you breathe deeply, notice how this moment holds all that you need. There is no need to rush or seek elsewhere. Feel the fullness of your breath, the warmth of your body, the quiet around you. Let go of the urge to fix or change this moment. Instead, welcome it like a treasured guest exactly as it is. If your mind wanders to past regrets or future plans, gently return to this full cup, the now. Now softly ask, how does embracing this moment as complete change your sense of peace? What if enoughness was always present? Breathe in fullness. Breathe out longing. You are enough here. The bamboo bends but does not break. It is flexible and resilient, teaching you about the strength found in yielding rather than resistance. Imagine a grove of bamboo swaying gracefully in the wind. Each stalk bends with the gusts yielding to their force, yet standing tall when the storm passes. This natural flexibility allows it to endure without snapping. A Zen story tells of a master who taught his students to be like bamboo, strong, yet pliant. When challenges arise, resist not with rigidity, but with openness, allowing difficulties to pass through without harm. Tonight, as you breathe gently, invite the spirit of bamboo into your heart. Notice where you hold tension, where you resist. With each exhale, soften these places, becoming more flexible, more alive. Feel your breath flow freely like wind through leaves, bringing ease and renewal. This flexibility is not weakness, but a deep strength born from trust in the natural flow of life. If fear or stubbornness arises, observe them kindly, like a leaf caught briefly in a breeze, then released. Now softly ask, how might bending with life's rhythms bring you peace? Where can you invite softness to carry you through? Breathe in resilience. Breathe out rigidity. You are strong and flexible. A feather falls silently, carried by the gentle breeze, a quiet symbol of surrender and ease. It does not resist the air or the pull of gravity. It simply lets itself be carried. Imagine watching this feather drift slowly through the sky, swirling softly before resting on a bed of moss. Its journey is effortless, graceful, and free. This image invites you to practice gentle letting be, releasing the urge to control, to hurry, to fight against the natural flow of things. A Zen monk once said that life's difficulties are like the wind, and our task is to be like the featherlight, supple and untroubled by resistance. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, feel your body soften. Let the breath carry away tension and tightness, allowing you to fall softly into rest. Notice the spaces between your thoughts, the quiet pauses where nothing is demanded. If you find yourself gripping fear or worry, imagine letting go like the feather releasing itself to the breeze. Now gently ask yourself, what might happen if you let life carry you softly without struggle or force? Breathe in surrender. Breathe out resistance. You are carried with ease. The journey inward begins with a single step, a step of kindness and curiosity toward yourself. This path is not about rushing or striving, but about gentle exploration. Imagine walking through a quiet forest, each step soft on the moss-covered ground. You move slowly, noticing the texture beneath your feet, the scent of the earth, the play of light and shadow. This inward journey invites you to turn your attention gently toward your own heart and mind, not to judge but to understand. A Zen story tells of a monk who, tired from his travels, sat quietly and listened to his own breathing. In that simple act, he found a vast world within himself, rich and peaceful. Tonight, as you breathe calmly, invite yourself to step inside your own being. Feel the weight of your body supported by the earth, the rise and fall of your breath, the quiet space within. Notice any fears, hopes, or dreams with gentle awareness. Let them come and go like clouds moving across the sky. If resistance or discomfort appears, meet it with kindness as a friend you have not yet fully known. Now softly ask, what does it feel like to meet yourself without judgment? How can curiosity and kindness guide your inward journey? Breathe in gentle awareness. Breathe out resistance. You are home within. Beneath the surface of every experience flows a quiet stream, the heart's gentle current of compassion. This stream connects you to yourself and to all beings, inviting tenderness and understanding. Imagine sitting beside a slow-moving river, watching the water ripple softly over smooth stones. The river does not rush. It carries all that comes with steady grace. In Buddhism, compassion is not a distant ideal, but a living, breathing presence that arises when you soften your heart. It begins within, extending outward, like the ever-widening circles of water. There is a Zen tale of a master who healed a wounded bird, not with grand gestures, but with quiet attention and gentle hands. His compassion was a simple presence, pure and unspoken. Tonight, as you breathe deeply, feel this stream of kindness flowing through you. Let it wash over any tightness or pain, soothing and nurturing. Notice how compassion starts with yourself, accepting your flaws, your struggles, your moments of doubt. If harsh thoughts arise, meet them with the same gentleness you would offer a dear friend. Now softly ask, how can opening to compassion change your experience of this night? How does kindness to yourself ripple outward into the world? Breathe in tenderness. Breathe out judgment. You are held in compassion. The sand mandala, painstakingly crafted grain by grain, is a beautiful metaphor for impermanence. Each delicate pattern is made with care only to be swept away once the work is complete, an expression of the transient nature of life. Imagine watching an artist create a circle of intricate designs from colored sand. The precision and devotion are mesmerizing, yet the final act is to brush it all away, releasing attachment to form. This ritual teaches you to embrace change and let go gracefully. Nothing you hold on to is permanent, and the beauty of each moment shines brightest when freed from clinging. A Zen story tells of a monk who watched a sand mandala dissolve into the wind, feeling both sadness and awe. He understood that surrender to impermanence opens the heart to true freedom. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, imagine the sand mandala forming and dissolving within your mind. Allow thoughts, emotions, and worries to arise and fade like the shifting patterns of sand. Notice how your breath carries you through this flow, steady and accepting. If you feel resistance to letting go, observe it gently, like watching waves retreat from the shore. Now softly ask, what beauty might arise when you embrace impermanence fully? How can release be an act of love? Breathe in acceptance. Breathe out clinging. You are part of this ever-changing dance. The wind is invisible, yet you can feel its presence everywhere in the sway of trees, the coolness on your skin, the gentle rustle of leaves. In Zen, embracing the wind symbolizes surrender and freedom from resistance. Imagine standing in an open field as a soft breeze brushes past. You do not fight it or try to hold it back. Instead, you let yourself be carried along, moving with the rhythm of nature. There was once a Zen master who taught his students to welcome life's winds, whether calm or stormy, as teachers. When challenges arise, he said, bend like the willow rather than break like the oak. Tonight, as you breathe deeply, invite the wind's spirit into your heart. Let go of tightness, allowing yourself to flow with life's currents. Notice how your breath moves effortlessly, like air shifting through open spaces. If fear or tension arises, imagine the wind gently dispersing them, leaving you lighter and freer. Now softly ask, how might surrendering to the wind bring you peace? What does freedom feel like when you stop resisting? Breathe in openness. Breathe out resistance. You are carried by life's breath. Within every storm lies a hidden softness, a quiet center that holds steady even as winds howl and rains fall. The Zen path invites you to find this softness within yourself amid life's turbulence. Imagine a deep valley where the storm rages, but nestled inside a gentle spring bubbles quietly. This spring is the refuge of stillness, unshaken by the chaos outside. A story tells of a monk caught in a fierce storm who found shelter beneath a large tree. Though the wind bent the branches fiercely, the tree's core remained calm and rooted. This is the softness beneath the storm, a place of inner peace that endures through all challenges. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, bring your attention to this place within. Feel the steady rhythm of your heart, the calm rise and fall of your breath. Allow the breath to soften any tension or fear, reminding you that beneath the storm you are held. If thoughts of worry or discomfort arise, meet them gently like the tree bending but not breaking. Now softly ask, how can you nurture this softness inside during difficult times? What does it mean to be calm amid chaos? Breathe in calmness. Breathe out tension. You are safe within the storm's eye. The path of no path is a paradox inviting you to release fixed ideas about how to live or what to seek. It is a journey of freedom beyond maps, rules, or destinations. Imagine walking through a dense forest without a trail. At first you may feel lost, but soon you notice the subtle signs of the earth beneath your feet, the patterns of light and shadow, the sounds of the forest. You begin to move intuitively, trusting the moment rather than a plan. Zen masters teach that clinging to a fixed path limits your experience. True awakening arises when you let go of rigid expectations and flow freely with life's unfolding. There was once a monk who sought enlightenment by following strict rules, but found himself trapped by them. When he finally abandoned his plans and sat quietly open and relaxed, insight came naturally. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, invite this spirit of openness into your heart. Let go of shoulds and musts. Trust your own inner guide, present and alive. Notice how your breath carries you step by step without needing direction. If anxiety about direction arises, acknowledge it kindly, then return to the freedom of the moment. Now softly ask, what does it feel like to walk a path without a path? How can releasing control bring you peace? Breathe in freedom. Breathe out control. You are exactly where you belong. The lantern flickers in the darkness, a small, steady light amid the vast unknown. It is a symbol of awareness, hope, and trust that guides you gently through the night. Imagine carrying a lantern as you walk along a shadowed path. The light does not banish the darkness, but reveals enough to keep you safe and moving forward. In Zen teachings, this lantern is your own mindful presence, a steady, gentle light that shows the way without force or fear. There is a story of a traveler lost in a forest at night who found a lantern hanging from a tree. Though small, its light gave courage and direction, allowing the traveler to find the path home. Tonight, as you breathe calmly, invite this inner lantern to glow softly within you. Feel how your breath fuels its steady flame, brightening your awareness. If shadows of doubt or fear appear, imagine the lantern's light gently dissolving them, replacing them with warmth and clarity. Now softly ask, how does your inner light guide you through uncertainty? What trust arises when you carry this gentle flame? Breathe in light. Breathe out darkness. You are guided by your own bright presence. Resting in non-doing is not about laziness or passivity, but about allowing yourself to simply be free from the urge to control or achieve. It is the art of stillness that holds deep power. Imagine lying beside a quiet lake, watching the water's surface calm after a breeze has passed. Nothing needs to be done. The lake simply rests whole and complete. In Zen, non-doing Wu Wei is the natural state from which all things arise and return. It is not forcing, striving, or resisting, but moving effortlessly with the flow of life. A Zen master once told a student, "True strength lies in non-doing." Like the river that flows without effort, you too can find power in ease. Tonight, as you breathe gently, invite this non-doing into your body and mind. Release the need to fix, solve, or hurry. Allow yourself to rest fully in the moment. Notice the stillness between each breath, the soft pause where nothing is required. If restlessness arises, welcome it as part of the flow, then return to peaceful presence. Now softly ask, What does it feel like to rest without doing? How does surrender deepen your peace? Breathe in ease. Breathe out effort. You are resting in natural grace. The bamboo breathes with the wind, whispering lessons of calm and resilience. Its gentle sway reminds you to listen deeply and respond with softness. Imagine a bamboo forest, each stalk moving in harmony, with the breeze creating a chorus of rustling leaves, a natural song of presence. In Zen, the bamboo symbolizes adaptability. It does not resist the wind, but bends gracefully, surviving storms with quiet strength. A master once advised his students to cultivate the bamboo's spirit, flexible, open, and steady amidst life's changes. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, tune into the rhythm of the bamboo's breath. Feel your body soften, your mind quiet. Notice how your breath flows like the wind, steady and calm, inviting ease and renewal. If tension arises, imagine the bamboo bending and releasing, flowing with grace. Now softly ask, how can you bring the bamboo's gentle breath into your night? Where can you invite flexibility to carry you peacefully? Breathe in harmony. Breathe out resistance. You are part of the natural flow. The circle is without beginning or end, an endless flow, symbolizing the continuous movement of life and breath. It invites you to rest in the eternal present where time folds softly into itself. Imagine drawing a perfect circle in the sand, watching the line curve back to where it started, whole and complete. This circle is the shape of your breath, your life, your being. In Zen, the circle or enso represents enlightenment and the wholeness of existence. It is a reminder that beginnings and endings are illusions. All is connected in a seamless dance. There was once a monk who meditated on the circle until he saw not just its shape, but its meaning, the endless return to here and now. Tonight, as you breathe gently, feel the circle of your breath flowing in and out without pause or break. Allow yourself to dissolve into this endless flow, letting time soften and dissolve. If thoughts pull you toward past or future, gently guide them back to this continuous now. Now softly ask, how does resting in the circle change your sense of time? What peace arises when you live in the eternal moment? Breathe in continuity. Breathe out fragmentation. You are whole now and always. The stone sits unmoving, a symbol of steady presence amid shifting surroundings. It teaches you to be rooted and calm even when the world changes. Imagine a large stone beside a flowing river. The water rushes past, constantly moving, yet the stone remains grounded, unchanged by the currents. In Zen, the stone's stillness is a metaphor for the mind's true nature, stable, clear, and unaffected by passing thoughts or emotions. A story tells of a monk who sat beside a great stone, finding comfort in its unshakable calm. Through this presence, he learned to let go of agitation and rest deeply. Tonight, as you breathe softly, feel yourself like that stone, anchored, steady and calm. Notice how your breath flows steadily, how your body feels supported and held. If restlessness arises, remember the stone's quiet strength and return to stillness. Now gently ask, how can you be like the stone, steady and calm amid life's flowing changes? Breathe in grounding. Breathe out agitation. You are stable and whole. The tea ceremony is an art of mindfulness, a sacred moment woven from simple, deliberate acts. It invites you to bring your full attention to the ordinary and discover beauty in the present. Imagine the careful movements of preparing tea, each gesture slow, precise, and graceful. The warmth of the cup in your hands, the steam rising gently, the aroma unfolding like a quiet melody. In Zen, the tea ceremony is more than making tea. It is a meditation in action, a practice of presence that transforms the everyday into the sacred. A Zen master once taught that true mindfulness is found not in grand gestures, but in these small, focused moments. When you drink tea fully present, you drink life itself. Tonight, as you breathe gently, imagine yourself partaking in this ceremony. Feel the weight of the cup, the warmth spreading through your hands, the rhythm of your breath matching the slow pace. Let go of distractions and simply be here now, savoring the fullness of this simple act. If your mind wanders kindly, bring it back to the softness of the moment. Now softly ask, how can you bring this mindful attention into your night? What sacredness might you find in the simple, breathe in presence, breathe out hurry? You are here fully alive. The mind is like a clear sky, vast and open with clouds of thought drifting across it. These clouds come and go, but the sky itself remains unchanged, boundless, and serene. Imagine looking up on a calm day, watching wisps of cloud slowly move, sometimes clustering, sometimes scattering, while the endless blue stretches beyond. In Zen, this sky metaphor teaches you to see your thoughts as passing phenomena, temporary and ever-changing, while your awareness remains steady and free. A monk once sat beneath a wide-open sky, realizing that his worries were like clouds that did not define the vastness within him. Tonight, as you breathe softly, picture your mind as this open sky. Let thoughts rise and fall without grasping, simply observing their natural flow. If you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself that clouds do not obscure the sky. They are part of its dance. Now gently ask, what peace arises when you rest as the open sky, embracing all that comes and goes? Breathe in openness. Breathe out holding. You are spacious and free. The brushstroke in Zen calligraphy is a moment of complete presence, each line drawn with intention, mindfulness, and freedom. It is an expression of the here and now, alive and unrepeatable. Imagine watching an artist dip their brush in ink, then sweep it across paper with a single fluid movement. The stroke is neither rushed nor hesitant. It flows naturally from the mind and heart united. In Zen, this brushstroke is more than art. It is a meditation. It reveals the essence of impermanence and mindfulness, the fleeting moment captured, yet always moving forward. There was once a master calligrapher who said, "Each stroke is my life. I cannot recreate it, only honor its uniqueness." Tonight, as you breathe gently, imagine your breath as this brushstroke, simple, true, and fully alive. Feel the flow of energy in your body, the smooth rhythm of your breath, the lightness of your being. If distraction appears, bring your focus back to the present as an artist returns to their brush. Now softly ask, how can each moment become a mindful brushstroke in your life? What beauty arises when you live fully now? Breathe in intention. Breathe out hesitation. You are the artist of your presence. An empty chair by the window invites presence without demand. It is a space held open for you to rest, to be seen, and to simply exist without expectation. Imagine sitting quietly in this chair, sunlight or moonlight washing over you, the world moving gently beyond the glass. In Zen, such an empty space symbolizes openness and receptivity, a sanctuary where the mind can settle and the heart can breathe. A story tells of a master who left an empty chair in the meditation hall, reminding students that sometimes the greatest teaching is simply to hold space for what is. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, feel this space within you, open, welcoming, and free. Let go of pressures to perform or fix. Simply be the presence in the chair. If tension arises, imagine placing it gently on the chair, releasing it without judgment. Now softly ask, what does it mean to hold space for yourself with kindness? How does resting in openness change your night? Breathe in acceptance. Breathe out expectation. You are welcome here. Returning home to yourself is the most profound journey you will ever take. It is a gentle coming back again and again to the place where your true nature rests beyond distraction and fear. Imagine walking down a winding path through a quiet forest, each step bringing you closer to a familiar clearing bathed in soft light. This is your inner sanctuary, always waiting. In Zen, this return is called turning the light inward. It means meeting yourself with kindness, no matter where you've been or what has happened. There was a monk who, after many travels, realized the greatest journey was the one back to his own heart. With each breath, he found home. Tonight, as you breathe gently, invite yourself to come home. Feel the comfort of your own presence, steady and true. Let go of wandering thoughts and worries. Allow the soft glow of self-acceptance to warm you. Now softly ask, how does coming home to yourself bring peace? What comfort lies in this return? Breathe in belonging. Breathe out wandering. You are home. The stone garden holds quiet wisdom in its carefully placed rocks and raked gravel, a landscape of stillness and simplicity that reflects the mind's potential for calm. Imagine sitting beside a garden where every stone is intentional, every pattern a silent teaching. The gravel is smooth, the stones unmoving, each a symbol of stability and presence. In Zen, stone gardens are designed to help the mind settle, to reflect on the nature of permanence and impermanence, and to find harmony within apparent stillness. A story tells of a monk who found solace in tending such a garden, learning patience and insight through each gentle rake of the gravel. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, picture this garden in your mind. Let its tranquility fill your awareness. Feel your breath steady as the stones, your thoughts smoothing like the gravel's patterns. If restlessness arises, imagine placing it gently among the stones, observing without attachment. Now softly ask, what can the stone garden teach you about stillness and balance? How does simplicity nurture your peace? Breathe in calm. Breathe out tension. You are grounded in stillness. Your breath is a bridge connecting body and mind, a natural rhythm that invites harmony and presence. With each inhale and exhale, you cross over from distraction into calm awareness. Imagine standing on a narrow bridge spanning a quiet river. Each step feels steady and sure, connecting one side to the other, guiding you safely across. In Zen, breath is the first and most accessible path to mindfulness, a living bridge to the here and now. A monk once taught that when the mind wanders, simply returning to the breath is like finding the path back home. Tonight, as you breathe, gently feel this bridge beneath your feet, your breath flowing smoothly, steady, and unhurried. Notice how your thoughts may pull you to one side, but your breath remains the safe passage to presence. If you feel pulled away, gently return your attention to this bridge, steady and supportive. Now softly ask, how does your breath carry you from unrest to peace? What strength lies in this simple connection? Breathe in steadiness. Breathe out distraction. You are bridged by your own breath. The Zen archway is a passage between worlds, a threshold that invites you to step beyond time and thought into the timeless now. Imagine walking slowly through an ancient wooden gate, the air shifting as you pass from the noisy outside into a serene courtyard bathed in soft light. In Zen, this archway symbolizes the transition from the distracted mind to peaceful presence, a subtle crossing into deeper awareness. A story tells of a monk who found enlightenment in the simple act of stepping through a gate, realizing that every moment holds the door to awakening. Tonight, as you breathe softly, picture yourself approaching this archway. Feel the gentle stillness waiting just beyond. Notice how your breath slows as you near the threshold, inviting you to leave behind worries and hurry. If hesitation arises, greet it kindly and step forward with trust. Now softly ask, what awaits you beyond this archway? How can crossing into presence transform your night? Breathe in readiness. Breathe out hesitation. You are stepping into peace. The river flows endlessly, carrying all things along its gentle current. It is a symbol of life's continual movement, never still, always changing, yet constant in its presence. Imagine sitting beside a wide river, watching leaves and petals drift downstream, carried effortlessly by the water's steady flow. In Zen, the river teaches you to move gracefully with life's rhythms, to release resistance and trust the journey. A monk once observed how the river accepts all that comes. Stone's branches rain without judgment or struggle. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, invite the river's flow into your being. Feel your breath move like water, steady and calm. Notice where you may be resisting life's currents, holding tightly to what cannot be held. With each exhale, release this resistance, allowing yourself to flow naturally. Now softly ask, how can you move like the river, open, steady, and free? What peace arises when you let go and trust the flow? Breathe in flow. Breathe out resistance. You are part of the endless current. The lantern floating on water is a symbol of hope and release, a small light, drifting gently carried by the current toward an unknown destination. Imagine setting a lantern upon a quiet lake, watching as it glows softly and moves with the water's rhythm, serene and free. In Zen, this image reminds you to let go of burdens, trusting that light and peace can carry you through darkness and uncertainty. A story tells of a village releasing lanterns each year to honor ancestors, the glowing lights guiding souls home and lighting the way for the living. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, imagine your worries as this lantern, light enough to float, steady enough to shine. Feel your breath nurturing this gentle light, carrying it softly into the vast night. If fear or heaviness appears, breathe it out and watch it drift away like the lantern. Now softly ask, what might it mean to release your burdens and trust the light within you? Breathe in trust. Breathe out release. You are carried by gentle light. The monk's simple cloak is a symbol of humility and peace, a garment that shelters without burden, embodying the essence of simplicity. Imagine wrapping yourself in a soft, plain cloak that drapes effortlessly, shielding you from cold or wind without weight or complication. In Zen, simplicity is a path to freedom, stripping away excess so that the true nature within may shine. A story tells of a monk who wore only a humble robe but carried a radiant heart. His peace came not from possessions, but from living lightly and fully. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, feel this cloak around you, soft, protective, and free. Notice how your breath flows gently beneath this simplicity, releasing tension and complexity. If your mind seeks more or better, gently remind it that peace is found in enoughness. Now softly ask, how can embracing simplicity lighten your load? What freedom arises when you live with less? Breathe in ease. Breathe out excess. You are wrapped in simplicity. The sparrow's song at dawn is a gentle awakening, a soft call that stirs the world without urgency or force. Imagine hearing a small bird's melody breaking the silence of early morning, delicate and clear, inviting you to rise with grace. In Zen, the sparrow's song teaches you to awaken gently with kindness to yourself and the world. A story tells of a monk who rose each day with the birds, finding peace in the soft rhythm of nature's unfolding. Tonight, as you breathe softly, listen to your own inner song, the quiet presence that stirs without haste. Feel your breath deepen the gentle rhythm of your heart, syncing with the morning light. If restlessness stirs, let it pass like a bird flying by, returning your focus to calm. Now softly ask, how can you greet each moment with the sparrow's gentle song? What peace lies in awakening slowly? Breathe in calm, breathe out rush. You are waking with kindness. The quiet mountain stands unmoved through seasons, a symbol of rooted calmness and enduring presence. Imagine a vast mountain, its peak touching the sky, silent and steady amidst the passing clouds and changing weather. In Zen, the mountain teaches you to cultivate a deep inner stability, unshaken by life's storms or fleeting thoughts. A monk once sat meditating at a mountain's base, feeling its strength seep into his being, grounding his restless mind. Tonight, as you breathe deeply, sense this mountain within you, solid, calm, and unwavering. Let your breath anchor you steady and sure as you rest in this rootedness. If distractions arise, imagine them as passing clouds around the mountain, never disturbing its core. Now softly ask, how can you be like the mountain, steady and calm amid life's changes? Breathe in stability. Breathe out unrest. You are grounded and whole. The whisper of falling leaves speaks softly of change and letting go. Each leaf drifts gently to the earth, completing its cycle with grace and ease. Imagine watching a single leaf release from its branch, swirling in the autumn breeze before resting quietly on the ground. In Zen, falling leaves teach you to surrender without resistance, embracing the natural flow of life's endings and beginnings. A story tells of a monk who found peace by observing leaves fall, learning that release is a path to renewal. Tonight, as you breathe gently, feel yourself like the leaf ready to let go and be carried by the wind. Notice where you hold tightness or fear, and with each exhale, release these like leaves drifting away. If sadness arises, welcome it kindly knowing it too is part of the cycle. Now softly ask, how can surrendering like the falling leaf bring you peace? What freedom comes with letting go? Breathe in acceptance. Breathe out holding. You are part of this gentle flow. The bamboo forest breathes with quiet strength, each stalk swaying gently in harmony with the wind. Together, they teach resilience through unity and softness. Imagine walking through a grove where countless bamboo stalks rise tall, bending in unison, yet never breaking their whispers, blending into a soothing song. In Zen, the bamboo forest symbolizes the balance of flexibility and strength, standing firm while yielding to the forces around it. A monk once likened community to bamboo rooted together, supporting one another through life's storms. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, feel yourself as part of this forest, connected, resilient, and supple. Let your breath synchronize with the rhythm of the swaying stalks, steady and calm. If tension arises, imagine releasing it into the collective breath of the forest. Now softly ask, how can connection and flexibility support your peace? Where do you find strength in softness? Breathe in unity. Breathe out isolation. You are part of this living web. The Zen garden's patterns weave order from simplicity, a landscape where every line and stone invites calm reflection. Imagine a garden raked with deliberate strokes, each swirl and line drawing your eye into stillness and harmony. In Zen, these gardens are crafted to help the mind find balance amidst life's chaos, revealing beauty in minimalism. A monk tended such a garden, learning that through simplicity, the mind unclutters and peace unfolds naturally. Tonight, as you breathe softly, visualize these patterns gently forming and fading within your mind. Allow your thoughts to settle like smooth gravel, your awareness as steady as the placed stones. If your mind wanders, gently guide it back to this serene landscape. Now softly ask, how can simplicity create space for your peace? What clarity arises when you unclutter your mind? Breathe in order. Breathe out chaos. You are calm and centered. The empty sky beyond clouds is vast and open, inviting you to rest in infinite spaciousness beyond thoughts and feelings. Imagine a clear blue sky stretching endlessly with clouds drifting by like passing moments, temporary and ever-changing. In Zen, this sky symbolizes the true nature of mind, boundless, clear, and free from limitation. A monk once sat beneath such a sky, realizing that no matter how dark the clouds, the sky remained untainted and whole. Tonight, as you breathe gently, picture your mind as this sky, vast and open, welcoming all experiences without resistance. Let each thought pass like a cloud, leaving the space beneath untouched. If worries arise, watch them float away, returning your focus to the boundless sky. Now softly ask, what peace comes from resting in the emptiness beyond thought? How does spaciousness feel within? Breathe in openness. Breathe out confinement. You are limitless. The candle's flickering flame dances with delicate impermanence, a gentle reminder of the fleeting nature of all things. Imagine watching a candle flame in a quiet room, its light wavering softly with each breath of air, bright yet fragile. In Zen, the candle symbolizes life's transience and the focus of mindful attention. A story tells of a monk who meditated by candlelight, learning to embrace both the light and the shadow as part of existence. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, visualize your awareness as this flame alive, vibrant yet aware of its fragile beauty. Notice how your breath influences the flame's dance, steadying or stirring it gently. If distractions flicker like shadows on the wall, return softly to the candle's steady glow. Now softly ask, how can embracing impermanence deepen your presence? What light shines when you accept change? Breathe in illumination. Breathe out resistance. You are the flame, bright and transient. The breath before sleep is a gentle invitation to surrender, to let go of the day and soften into the embrace of rest. Imagine lying in bed, feeling the rhythm of your breath. Slow and deepen each inhale, gathering calm, each exhale, releasing tension. In Buddhism, mindful breathing before sleep helps ease the mind and body into peaceful stillness. A monk once taught that the breath is a bridge from wakefulness to dream, carrying you safely across the threshold. Tonight, as you breathe deeply, feel the breath soothe your nervous system, quieting the restless thoughts. Allow the night to cradle you, your breath guiding you softly towards sleep's gentle arms. If worries surface, acknowledge them kindly, then let them drift away on each exhale. Now softly ask, how can the breath ease your journey into rest? What peace unfolds as you surrender to sleep? Breathe in calm. Breathe out release. You are held in gentle night. The peace of unknowing is a quiet refuge where the need for answers dissolves into gentle acceptance. Imagine sitting beside a vast ocean, watching the waves rise and fall without trying to control their rhythm. In Zen, embracing uncertainty is not a failing, but a doorway to freedom, letting go of the mind's need to fix and define. A monk once smiled and said, "When you let go of knowing, you open to being." Tonight, as you breathe softly, invite yourself to rest in this unknowing space, free from pressure, full of openness. Notice any tension around needing certainty, and allow it to soften with each breath. If questions arise, let them rest without demand for answers. Now softly ask, what happens when you embrace the unknown? How does peace grow in acceptance? Breathe in openness. Breathe out control. You are free in unknowing. The moon's reflection on water is a gentle reminder that what we see is often an illusion, beautiful, shifting, but never fixed. Imagine looking down at a still pond, watching the moon's glow shimmer on the surface, distorted by ripples, yet shining bright. In Zen, this reflection teaches you to see beyond appearances, understanding that true nature lies beneath change. A story tells of a monk who realized his own thoughts were like this reflection, vivid yet fleeting, not the essence of who he is. Tonight, as you breathe calmly, picture your thoughts as the moon's reflection, beautiful but ever-changing. Allow yourself to rest beneath the surface in the still depths of being. If your mind chases illusions, gently return to this calm place within. Now softly ask, how does seeing through appearances change your peace? What lies beneath the ripples? Breathe in clarity. Breathe out illusion. You are the still water beneath. The quiet heart of compassion beats gently beneath all experience, inviting softness and understanding toward yourself and others. Imagine a calm lake, its surface smooth and reflective, holding the depth beneath with tenderness. In Zen, compassion is not just feeling for others, but an open heart, that embraces all, including your own imperfections. A monk once said, "Compassion begins with the kindness you offer your own heart." Tonight, as you breathe softly, feel this compassionate heart within you, beating quietly and steadily. Allow it to soften any harshness or judgment you hold. If self-criticism arises, meet it with gentle understanding like a friend's embrace. Now softly ask, how does compassion change the way you see yourself? What peace grows from kindness? Breathe in warmth. Breathe out harshness. You are held in gentle care. The clear tone of the Zen bell calls you to presence, cutting through distraction with a pure, resonant sound. Imagine hearing a single bell ringing in a quiet temple, its vibration lingering in the still air, inviting full attention. In Zen practice, the bell is a reminder to return to the here and now, to awaken from wandering thoughts. A monk once described the bell as the voice of mindfulness echoing through every moment. Tonight, as you breathe gently, imagine this bell ringing softly within you, clearing your mind's fog. Let its sound guide you back to peaceful awareness. If distractions arise, listen to the bell's call and let your focus settle. Now softly ask, how does this call to presence deepen your peace? What clarity comes from awakening now? Breathe in attention. Breathe out distraction. You are fully here. The silence after the storm is profound, a deep calm that follows the chaos, inviting rest and renewal. Imagine standing in a quiet forest after a heavy rain, the air fresh and still, the earth damp and fragrant. In Zen, this silence teaches you to hold peace even after difficulty, to find stillness within the waves of life. A story tells of a monk who, after enduring hardship, sat quietly in silence, discovering that peace had been waiting all along. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, allow yourself to rest in this calm space, letting tension dissolve like raindrops absorbed by the earth. If memories of the storm arise, greet them gently, then return to the silence. Now softly ask, what gifts come from the silence after struggle? How can you nurture this peace within? Breathe in calm. Breathe out turmoil. You are safe and still. The old pine tree stands with quiet endurance, its roots deep and strong beneath the soil. Through countless seasons, it weathers storms, embodying resilience born from stillness. Imagine a towering pine in a winter forest, its branches heavy with snow, but unbowed, steadfast through the passage of time. In Zen, the pine teaches the power of being grounded, of finding strength, not in resistance, but in calm acceptance. A monk once sat beneath such a tree, learning from its patience and quiet confidence to face life's hardships with grace. Tonight, as you breathe, gently feel your own roots extending deep, anchoring you firmly. Notice the steady rhythm of your breath, your body relaxed yet resilient. If life's challenges feel heavy, imagine the pine's enduring strength supporting you. Now softly ask, how can you cultivate this calm endurance? Where does your inner strength grow from stillness? Breathe in grounding. Breathe out tension. You are steady and strong. The pathless twilight invites you to journey without a map or destination, embracing the unknown with openness and trust. Imagine walking through a forest at dusk, the fading light soft and mysterious, the way ahead unclear yet inviting. In Zen, this twilight symbolizes the stage where fixed paths dissolve and you move freely in the present moment. A monk once wandered in such light, discovering that surrendering control opened a deeper connection to life's flow. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, allow yourself to step into this gentle uncertainty. Feel the breath steadying your steps, your mind softening its grip on needing to know. If fear arises, greet it with kindness, then return to the quiet mystery. Now softly ask, how does trusting the unknown change your experience? What freedom arises when you let go of the map? Breathe in trust. Breathe out doubt. You are walking into peace. The lotus rises from the mud, blossoming pure and radiant despite its humble beginnings. It symbolizes beauty emerging from hardship and shadow. Imagine a lotus unfolding its petals in a quiet pond, the muddy water beneath unseen but nourishing its growth. In Zen, the lotus teaches that suffering and difficulty can give rise to profound transformation and awakening. A story tells of a monk who reflected on the lotus, finding hope in the possibility of rising beyond life's challenges. Tonight, as you breathe softly, imagine yourself as the lotus, rooted, yet reaching toward light. Feel your breath nurturing growth, softening resistance. If pain or doubt surfaces, welcome it as part of the soil that nourishes your unfolding. Now softly ask, how can embracing hardship lead to blossoming? What beauty grows within your struggles? Breathe in resilience. Breathe out fear. You are blooming now. Mindfulness is a gentle touch, carrying presence in every movement and moment. It invites you to be fully awake to life as it unfolds. Imagine walking slowly through a garden, noticing each step, each breath, each sound, the delicate rustle of leaves, the fragrance of blossoms. In Zen, mindfulness is the heart of practice, grounding you in the now with tenderness and attention. A monk once said, mindfulness is the light that brightens the darkest moments. Tonight, as you breathe gently, invite this gentle touch into your awareness. Feel how your breath anchors you, your senses open to the present. If distraction comes, welcome it and softly return to mindfulness. Now softly ask, how can gentle attention transform your night? What peace arises in being fully present? Breathe in presence. Breathe out distraction. You are awake here. The Zen master's unexpected answer opens a door beyond logic and words, inviting you into the realm of direct experience and silent knowing. Imagine asking a question and receiving a response so simple or strange that it halts the mind's usual chatter, leaving space for deeper insight. In Zen, teaching often transcends explanation, using paradox or silence to awaken a fresh perspective. There is a story of a student who asked, "What is Buddha?" The master replied, 3 pounds of flax, pointing beyond concept to reality itself. Tonight, as you breathe calmly, open to the possibility that answers may come without words. Allow your mind to rest in this quiet openness, free from the need to figure everything out. If impatience arises, greet it gently and return to breath. Now softly ask, how does embracing mystery deepen your peace? What wisdom lies beyond thought? Breathe in openness. Breathe out striving. You are here simply knowing. Clouds pass freely across the sky, appearing and disappearing without resistance. They remind you to let thoughts arise and fade naturally. Imagine looking up to see fluffy clouds drifting by, changing shape and form, never clinging to any place. In Zen, clouds symbolize the transient nature of thoughts and feelings, temporary visitors in the vast sky of awareness. A monk once said, "Do not chase the clouds, watch them pass." Tonight, as you breathe gently, picture your thoughts as these clouds, ever moving, ever changing. Let them come and go without attachment or aversion. If restlessness arises, simply observe it as a passing cloud. Now softly ask, what freedom comes from letting thoughts flow without holding on? How does this ease your mind? Breathe in, release. Breathe out, grasping. You are the vast sky. Gratitude is a soft breath that opens the heart, inviting healing and connection. It is a gentle practice of recognizing the goodness that surrounds and flows within you. Imagine a quiet morning where you pause to feel thankful for the air you breathe, the warmth of your body, the simple gifts often overlooked. In Zen, gratitude is a bridge to compassion and peace, transforming even ordinary moments into sacred encounters. A monk once reflected, "Gratitude turns what we have into enough." Tonight, as you breathe slowly, invite gratitude to fill your awareness. Feel your breath softening your mind, opening to the beauty in small things. If worries arise, gently set them aside and focus on the blessings present now. Now softly ask, how can gratitude deepen your rest? What light shines when you give thanks? Breathe in appreciation. Breathe out distraction. You are wrapped in kindness. The silent lake's mirror reflects the world without distortion, holding the truth beneath the surface with calm clarity. Imagine a still lake at dawn, its surface smooth like glass, capturing every tree, cloud, and bird with perfect stillness. In Zen, the lake symbolizes the mind's capacity to reflect reality clearly when free from agitation and judgment. A story tells of a monk who found peace by becoming like the lake, quiet, clear, and accepting all reflections without resistance. Tonight, as you breathe softly, envision your mind as this mirror, calmly reflecting thoughts and feelings without grasping. Let your breath settle the ripples of worry, smoothing your inner surface. If turbulence arises, welcome it gently and return to stillness. Now softly ask, what clarity comes when you rest as the lake? How does acceptance reveal truth? Breathe in stillness. Breathe out disturbance. You are calm and clear. Beginner's mind is a fresh gaze, seeing the world anew without preconceptions or judgments, open to wonder and possibility. Imagine a child looking at a simple flower for the first time, eyes wide with curiosity and delight, free from knowing or expectation. In Zen, cultivating beginner's mind means embracing each moment with openness, letting go of assumptions that cloud your vision. A monk once said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's, few." Tonight, as you breathe gently, invite this fresh perspective into your heart. Let go of past notions, judgments, and habits. See your breath, body, and surroundings as if for the first time. If old patterns arise, notice them without attachment and return to curious presence. Now softly ask, how can beginner's mind transform your night? What peace grows from fresh seeing? Breathe in openness. Breathe out certainty. You are new to this moment. The lightness of being comes when you shed burdens and rest fully in the present moment, free from weight and worry. Imagine a feather drifting gently in the air, carried by soft currents, unburdened and effortless. In Zen, lightness is a state of ease that arises when you release resistance and cling less tightly to thoughts and emotions. A monk once described awakening as a dance of lightness and freedom. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, feel your body soften, your mind clear. Let go of tension, expectations, and the weight of shoulds. If heaviness lingers, breathe into it, inviting release. Now softly ask, what does it feel like to live with lightness? How does shedding burdens bring peace? Breathe in ease. Breathe out heaviness. You are light and free. Beneath every step you take lies a hidden path, quiet, unseen, yet always present. It is the way of peace beneath all striving. Imagine walking barefoot on soft earth, feeling the gentle ground supporting you with each step even when the way is unclear. In Zen, this hidden path represents the natural flow beneath your efforts, the steady rhythm that carries you beyond struggle. A monk once said, when you stop pushing, the path reveals itself. Tonight, as you breathe, gently feel this ground beneath you, stable and sure. Release tension in your body and mind, trusting the journey even when you cannot see the way. If doubt arises, greet it kindly, then return to your steady breath. Now softly ask, how can you trust the hidden path beneath your steps? What peace arises when you let go of control? Breathe in trust. Breathe out striving. You are guided always. The empty space in the Zen garden is as important as the stones and gravel, a silent presence inviting reflection and calm. Imagine a vast open courtyard, its emptiness held with care, allowing the mind to breathe and rest. In Zen, this emptiness symbolizes potential and peace, the spaciousness where form and meaning arise. A story tells of a monk who found clarity not in what was there, but in what was absent, discovering freedom in space. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, feel this empty space within your mind and heart. Let go of clutter and noise, making room for stillness. If distractions crowd in, gently create space with your breath. Now softly ask, what does it mean to rest in emptiness? How does spaciousness nurture your peace? Breathe in openness. Breathe out clutter. You are spacious and free. The stillness between heartbeats is a silent rhythm, a moment of pause where life's true essence quietly unfolds. Imagine listening closely to your heartbeat, noticing the gentle spaces that separate each beat, soft, brief, and profound. In Zen, these pauses are gateways to deep presence moments, where the mind can rest and the spirit can breathe. A monk once taught that the space between heartbeats holds the mystery of existence, quiet, timeless, and whole. Tonight, as you breathe gently, tune into these silent gaps within your own body. Feel the rhythm of life moving through you, steady and calm. If your mind rushes, bring it back to this quiet space, allowing thoughts to dissolve. Now softly ask, what does resting in the stillness between beats reveal? How does this pause deepen your peace? Breathe in stillness. Breathe out hurry. You are alive in quiet presence. The sparrow's flight at dusk is a graceful release, a small creature carried effortlessly into the night, trusting the fading light and the cool air. Imagine watching a sparrow lift from its perch, wings fluttering softly as it disappears into the quiet evening sky. In Zen, the sparrow's flight symbolizes freedom through surrender and trust in the unknown. A story tells of a monk who learned from the sparrow to let go of fear and embrace the flow of life. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, invite this spirit of surrender into your heart. Feel your breath lighten your worries, lifting like feathers on the wind. If hesitation arises, greet it kindly and breathe deeper. Now softly ask, how can letting go like the sparrow bring you peace? What freedom lies in trusting the night? Breathe in, release. Breathe out, grasping. You are free to soar. The whispering bamboo leaves speak a language of softness and calm, inviting you to listen deeply and relax. Imagine standing beneath tall bamboo, feeling the gentle rustle as leaves sway with the breeze, a soothing, natural melody. In Zen, the sound of bamboo is a reminder to be gentle with yourself and open to life's subtle rhythms. A monk once compared the mind to bamboo leaves, quiet when still alive, with soft movement when awake. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, hear the bamboo's whisper in your heart. Let your breath match its rhythm, steady, light, and flowing. If tension arises, imagine it carried away by the rustling leaves. Now softly ask, how does listening to life's quiet sounds bring you peace? What softness can you welcome tonight? Breathe in calm. Breathe out tightness. You are part of nature's song. The clear sky after rain is a symbol of renewal and clarity, a fresh beginning when clouds have passed and the world is washed clean. Imagine stepping outside to see the sky stretching wide and bright droplets glistening on leaves, the air crisp and new. In Zen, this moment teaches that after hardship comes clarity, and the mind can be renewed like the earth after a cleansing rain. A monk once found peace by simply watching the sky clear after a storm, understanding that all things change and heal. Tonight, as you breathe gently, picture this sky in your mind, vast, open, and fresh. Let your breath wash away any lingering heaviness or confusion. If doubts linger, invite the clarity of the clear sky to fill your heart. Now softly ask, how can renewal arise from endings? What lightness comes after the storm? Breathe in freshness. Breathe out heaviness. You are renewed and clear. The Zen master's laughless smile holds a quiet joy, a gentle knowing that transcends words and laughter, expressing peace from within. Imagine a serene face, calm and composed, with a smile that reaches deep beneath the surface, glowing softly in the stillness. In Zen, this smile symbolizes enlightenment's subtle joy, free from outward expression, but rich with inner warmth. A story tells of a master whose smile comforted students even in silence, conveying a profound presence beyond speech. Tonight, as you breathe softly, invite this smile to bloom within your heart. Feel how your breath carries this quiet joy through your body, soothing and steady. If heaviness appears, gently release it with each exhale, welcoming the smile's lightness. Now softly ask, what peace arises when joy is quiet and deep? How can this smile shine through your night? Breathe in warmth. Breathe out heaviness. You are radiant in stillness. The falling petal's journey is a graceful act of surrender, a quiet dance from bloom to earth, teaching acceptance and release. Imagine a single petal loosening from a flower, floating gently through the air before settling softly on the ground. In Zen, the petal's fall symbolizes the natural letting go of life's cycles, embracing impermanence with ease and beauty. A monk once watched petals fall and found peace in their effortless descent, seeing it as a metaphor for life's transitions. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, picture yourself as this petal light, free and surrendered. Feel your breath carry you gently, releasing tension and holding nothing tight. If resistance arises, welcome it without judgment and return to the petals' dance. Now softly ask, how does surrendering bring peace? What beauty lies in letting go? Breathe in, release. Breathe out, holding. You are part of this graceful fall. The deep roots of compassion grow quietly beneath the surface, steady and strong, supporting all that blooms above. Imagine a great tree, its branches reaching skyward, while unseen roots weave deeply into the earth, nourishing and grounding it. In Zen, compassion is like these roots, unseen but vital, the foundation of peace and connection. A story tells of a monk who, through quiet acts of kindness, nurtured a forest of compassion in his community. Tonight, as you breathe, gently feel these roots growing within your heart, anchoring you in kindness. Let your breath nurture this compassion, softening any hardness inside. If judgment arises, meet it with gentle understanding, allowing compassion to deepen. Now softly ask, how can growing compassion bring peace to your night? What strength lies in kindness? Breathe in warmth. Breathe out resistance. You are rooted in love. Awakening to deep sleep is not a sudden event, but a gentle unfolding, a soft release of all that holds you awake. As you lie here now, feel the weight of your body sinking deeper into the surface beneath you. Notice how your breath slows and softens like waves gently folding onto a quiet shore. In Zen teachings, sleep is more than rest. It is a natural part of the cycle of awakening. Just as the day dissolves into night, so too does the mind dissolve its grasping. The Buddha reminded us that clinging leads to unrest, but surrender brings peace. A story tells of a monk who once struggled with restless nights. One evening, his master simply said, "Let go as the leaf lets go of the branch." The monk watched the leaves fall silently without resistance or regret. That night, he slept as if cradled by the whole earth. So now you too can let go of thoughts, worries, expectations. Breathe out fully and allow the mind's surface to still. If any tension lingers, imagine it melting away, dissolving into the vastness within and around you. If the answer to peaceful sleep is not in effort or force, what will the silence of surrender reveal instead? Rest in this question, resting softly as the deep night enfolds you like a loving embrace. With each breath, you move closer to ungrasping, to falling gently into the calm well of sleep. You are enough. You are held. And now you sleep. The gentle art of surrender is the doorway to freedom. You do not have to fight the night, nor wrestle your thoughts into silence. Instead, you practice soft release, an invitation to rest without struggle. In your breath, you find a natural rhythm that neither forces nor resists. Like water flowing around a stone, surrender does not mean giving up. It means moving with the current rather than against it. A Zen story tells of a willow tree bending in the wind. When the storm comes, the rigid tree breaks, but the willow yields, and when the storm passes, it stands again unharmed. As you lie here, practice this softness. Let your body relax, your mind soften, your heart open. If tension arises, do not chase it away. Simply notice it and allow it to dissolve naturally. What might freedom feel like if you let go of control, even just for a moment? If you stop resisting, what will your breath teach you? Let this moment become a practice in surrender, a gentle offering to yourself. There is strength in yielding. there is peace in letting go. The stillness beneath movement is a quiet refuge always present even as life flows around you. You may notice your body shifting, your breath deepening, your mind wandering, yet beneath all this, a calm remains. This stillness is like the ground beneath your feet, steady and unwavering, though clouds pass overhead and winds may stir the branches. A Zen parable tells of a monk who walked the bustling market streets completely calm amidst the noise and motion. When asked how he maintained such peace, he replied, "The river flows fast, but beneath the surface the water is still." So now, as you prepare for rest, recognize the stillness within you, quiet, deep, and wide. It is not separate from the movement of breath or thought. It is their foundation. If the mind wanders, gently return to this stillness, like a boat moored safely in a quiet harbor. If the body shifts, feel the groundedness beneath, supporting every moment without judgment. What does it mean to rest in this stillness, even as everything changes? If words fail, what might silence show you? Rest here in the deep calm beneath the flow. The breath as ocean waves carries you gently between fullness and emptiness. Each inhale rises like a wave cresting softly, reaching its peak. Each exhale falls away like water retreating, leaving space for the next to come. Imagine yourself by the vast ocean shore. No two waves are the same, yet they follow the timeless rhythm of coming and going. Your breath moves in this same dance, a never-ending cycle of arrival and release. A Zen master once said, "Follow the breath like the tide, and you will find the shore within." There is no need to control the breath, only to watch and join its natural flow. As you lie here, feel the ebb and flow within you. If thoughts arise, imagine them as waves on the sea's surface, passing, never holding. If tension lingers, breathe into it and let it soften with each outgoing wave. What happens if you allow your breath to carry you effortlessly, like a leaf floating on the ocean? If the answer is silent, what might the ocean's vastness teach you? Rest in the rhythm of your breath, the endless waves of life's unfolding. Emptying the cup again is the heart of beginning anew. No matter how many times you have practiced stillness, the moment asks you to let go once more. Like the traveler who returns to the empty cup, ready to receive whatever is next. Each breath offers a fresh start, a chance to release what no longer serves you. Your mind may cling to thoughts, worries, or plans, but here you are, invited to simply let them pass. A Zen story tells of a teacher who poured tea for a guest until the cup overflowed. "Stop, the cup is full," the guest cried. The teacher smiled and said, "You must empty your cup before it can be filled. Now breathe out fully and feel your mind open like that empty cup. Allow space for peace to flow in without effort or resistance. If distractions come, acknowledge them, then gently return to openness. If you could empty your mind like this again and again, what might arise in the silence? If no words come, what will stillness show instead? Rest here, ready to receive the calm of the present moment once more. A leaf falls silently, a quiet reminder of impermanence. It detaches from the branch without struggle or regret, surrendering to the gentle pull of gravity. Its journey downward is peaceful, a graceful letting go. In Zen, the falling leaf teaches us that all things change, that clinging only brings suffering. The Buddha's teaching of impermanence asks us to see life as a constant flow where nothing remains the same. Picture yourself watching leaves drift down in autumn, each one unique, carried by unseen currents. So too your thoughts and feelings arise and pass away like leaves on a river. A monk once said, "Be like the leaf, accept what comes and goes without resistance." As you lie here, feel your own letting go, releasing tension, worries, and attachments. What if you could fall with the leaf, surrendering fully to the present? If words fade away, what will silence teach your heart? Rest now in this quiet release, carried softly by the flow of impermanence. Returning to the source is like coming home after a long journey. No matter how far you wander in thought or distraction, the heart always knows the way back to peace. This source is not a place or a thing, but a quiet center within you, unchanging, steady, and true. You do not need to seek it elsewhere. It is already here beneath all the noise. A Zen parable tells of a traveler lost in a dense forest. After much searching, he realized he had been walking in circles and finally sat down to rest. In that moment of stillness, he found the path he was seeking had been beneath his feet all along. Now, as you lie here, pause and feel this steady ground inside you. Breathe deeply into your body's center, sensing the calm wellspring that never dries up. If you let go of searching and simply rest, what will this source reveal? If the mind falls silent, what will your heart remember? Come home now, quietly and gently, to the peace that lives within. The path of kindness unfolds quietly beneath your every breath. It asks no grand gestures or heroic feats, only the gentle tending of your own heart. Kindness begins with yourself, as soft and essential as the air you breathe. In Zen, compassion is the natural expression of awakening. When you treat yourself with gentle care, that kindness ripples outward, touching all beings. A story tells of a monk who tended a garden with great patience and love. His kindness nurtured each plant to grow strong, not by force but through quiet attention. So too, your kindness can nourish your spirit in this moment. As you rest here, invite a wave of gentle kindness to wash over you. If any harsh thoughts arise, soften them with the breath and imagine them melting away. What would it be like to treat yourself with the same kindness you offer to a dear friend? If silence answers, what does your heart hear? Rest now in the warm embrace of kindness, the truest path home. Watching clouds pass invites you to observe without holding on. Thoughts and feelings drift across your mind's sky, coming and going like gentle clouds. You do not need to chase or stop them, only to watch with quiet presence. This is a core teaching in Zen, to notice without attachment, to be the sky rather than the storm. By stepping back from your thoughts, you discover the spaciousness that always remains. A Zen master once said, "Let your mind be like the sky, vast and clear while clouds come and go." As you lie here, imagine your thoughts as soft clouds drifting silently across your inner sky. If a thought arises, notice it fully, then let it float away without resistance. If feelings arise, feel them deeply, then release them like passing clouds. What does it mean to rest as the sky open and vast? If no words come, what will the silence of your inner space reveal? Rest here spacious and free beneath the endless sky of your awareness. The flame and the wind dance together, in a delicate balance, one steady, one ever moving. The candle's light flickers but does not vanish, held tenderly by the gentle breath of air. In life, you are both flame and wind, steady presence and flowing change. Zen teaches that embracing this paradox brings harmony and peace. A story tells of a master who lit a candle in a storm. He cupped his hands around it, shielding the flame from gusts, yet letting enough air in so it would not be extinguished. This balance is the art of mindful living, protecting your calm while allowing change. As you lie here, sense your own inner flame, warm, alive, and luminous. Feel the breath like wind around it, sometimes soft, sometimes stronger, always present. What if you held your peace like that flame, flexible but unwavering? If silence answers, what will its gentle light show you? Rest now in the dance of flame and wind, steady and flowing as life itself. Sitting with uncertainty is a practice of gentle courage. When answers do not come and the mind feels restless, you do not need to run or fix. Instead, you sit quietly with what is allowing uncertainty to be a teacher rather than a threat. Zen invites you to embrace not knowing as part of the path. In that space, clarity may arise naturally, like dawn breaking after a long night. A story tells of a student who asked his master, "What should I do when I do not know?" The master replied, "Sit with it as if it were the most precious guest." And so the student learned to welcome doubt and silence with open arms. Now, as you rest here, notice any uncertainty or discomfort without pushing it away. Breathe softly into the space it occupies, letting it soften and open. What might arise if you stopped seeking answers and simply rested in the unknown? If words dissolve, what will the stillness teach? Rest here with gentle courage, knowing that not knowing is itself a path home. The space between breaths holds a gentle invitation, a quiet pause that rests beyond effort or thought. It is the stillness that cradles the movement of life, the silence that holds the sound. In Zen, this space is often called the gateway to awakening. Between each inhale and exhale lies a moment untouched by time where presence is complete. Imagine yourself as a bird, pausing between wing beats suspended in air. In that stillness, the bird is neither moving nor still, it simply is. As you lie here, bring your attention to the tiny gap between breaths. Feel how it opens naturally, without forcing a tender space of rest. If the mind races, return gently to this breath gap, the quiet cradle of your awareness. What if all that you seek lives here in this soft space? If silence holds the answer, what will it say when you listen without expectation? Rest now cradled in the space between breaths, wide open and peacefully still. A garden in winter teaches the beauty of rest and quiet. Though leaves have fallen and blooms are gone, the garden holds a silent promise beneath the frost, life waiting patiently to return. Zen reminds us that rest is part of the cycle, just as winter is part of the year. Even in apparent stillness, transformation is unfolding. Imagine walking through a garden under soft gray skies, noticing bare branches and frozen earth. In this silence, you sense the deep peace of waiting without hurry. A Zen story tells of a monk who tended a winter garden, finding joy in the subtle shapes of twigs and snow. He said, "Even when nothing grows above, the roots are alive beneath the ground." As you lie here, invite yourself to rest deeply, like the winter garden, still patient and whole. Allow any busyness to melt away like frost under the sun's gentle touch. If the answer is quiet, what will your heart see in this winter stillness? Rest now in the peaceful pause, readying yourself for renewal. Walking the edge of awareness is like treading softly between waking and dreaming. You move lightly, neither fully caught in thought, nor completely empty, but gently balanced in presence. Zen teaches that true mindfulness is found in this delicate space, a place of subtle observation without grasping. Here, each moment unfolds fresh and alive, free from the noise of habit. Imagine yourself walking along a narrow path at dawn, the world hushed and waiting. You feel every step, every breath alert, yet relaxed, aware without effort. A story tells of a master who walked with a student through misty mountains. When asked how to stay present, the master replied, "Walk as if your life depends on it, but without clenching. As you lie here, sense this edge, the balance between alertness and ease. Allow your awareness to widen gently, like the soft light at daybreak. If words fade away, what might the quiet of this edge reveal to you? Rest here balanced and awake, poised between worlds. The sound of distant bells calls you gently back to presence. Their echoes ripple softly through the quiet air, reminding you to awaken from distraction and rest fully in the now. In Zen, the bell is both a call and a guide, a signal to return to mindfulness no matter where the mind has wandered. It invites you to pause, breathe, and reconnect with the simplicity of being. Imagine hearing a bell far away in a mountain temple, its sound reaching you like a warm invitation. Each ring dissolves tension, each pause between sounds deepens calm. A Zen master once said, "The bell calls not to others, but to yourself." As you lie here, let the imagined bell toll in your heart, drawing your mind home to stillness. If your thoughts drift gently, follow the bell's call back to the breath. What might you discover when you answer this silent summons? Rest now, embraced by the bell's tender call to presence and peace. The river's patience teaches you to trust life's slow unfolding. No rush, no force, just the steady, persistent flow toward the vast ocean. Zen wisdom sees patience as the foundation of awakening, the quiet waiting that allows transformation to grow naturally. Imagine sitting by a riverbank, watching water glide past smooth stones. The current carries all without resistance, steady and calm. A story tells of a monk who waited years by a flowing river, learning that the deepest change happens with gentle time, not hurried effort. As you lie here, breathe into this patience. Allow your mind and body to settle with the river's steady pace. If you release hurry, what will the river of your life reveal? If silence answers, what wisdom does it offer? Rest now in the deep patience flowing within and around you. Resting in simplicity reveals the natural ease beneath complexity. When you let go of unnecessary thoughts and distractions, peace arises like sunlight through leaves. Zen encourages you to return often to what is essential: the breath, the body, the moment, free from complication. Imagine a plain room, uncluttered and calm, where nothing demands your attention but the soft sound of your breath. In this simplicity, there is space to breathe fully and be completely present. A Zen story tells of a master who lived with only the barest possessions, finding joy in the clarity and freedom simplicity brings. As you lie here, notice what can be released. thoughts, worries, plans, and rest in the gentle simplicity that remains. If complexity fades, what quiet beauty unfolds? If no words arise, what will the stillness show you? Rest now in simplicity's tender embrace, light and free. The mirror and the face teach you to see clearly beyond illusion. Just as a mirror reflects without judgment, your mind can learn to observe thoughts and emotions without being caught in them. Zen teaches that the self is like a reflection, a passing image without fixed essence. When you recognize this, freedom and peace naturally arise. Imagine standing before a calm lake that mirrors the sky perfectly. Clouds drift by, but the lake remains steady beneath their passing shapes. A Zen story tells of a monk who said, "Do not confuse the reflection with the face itself. As you lie here, reflect on the difference between what appears and what truly is. If you look deeply, what remains when the images fade? If words are silent, what does the mirror reveal?" Rest now in the clarity of reflection, steady and unshaken. Savoring the moment's taste invites you to fully experience the present with all your senses. Even the simplest things, a sip of water, the softness of a sheet, can become gateways to deep calm. Zen teaches mindfulness as an art of paying attention without judgment or haste. By savoring each sensation, you ground yourself in the here and now. Imagine slowly tasting a ripe fruit, feeling its texture, savoring its sweetness. Your mind quiets as you immerse fully in this simple act. A story tells of a monk who ate a single grain of rice with full awareness, finding a universe of peace in that one mindful bite. As you lie here, invite yourself to savor this moment's breath, sensation, and stillness. Notice the richness of now without rushing toward the next thought. If you slow down, what flavors of peace emerge? If silence is your companion, what will you discover? Rest now in the sweetness of presence gently unfolding. The gentle rhythm of the heart beats softly beneath the surface of your awareness. It is a steady pulse that connects you to the flow of life, silent yet powerful. In Zen, the heart is seen as the center of both emotion and wisdom, a quiet drum guiding each breath and step. Imagine placing your hand lightly over your chest, feeling the calm beat steady and sure. With each pulse, you return to yourself deeper and more grounded. A story tells of a master who said, "Listen to the heart. It speaks in the silence between words." As you lie here, tune in to this inner rhythm, the soft music of your being. If you listen closely, what messages will your heart share? If words dissolve, what wisdom will arise from its steady beat? Rest now, cradled by the gentle rhythm within, safe and whole. Silent gratitude fills the heart like a quiet dawn. Without words or grand gestures, it unfolds gently, nurturing peace from within. Zen teaches that gratitude is not something to achieve, but a natural response, an opening to the gifts that surround you in every moment. Imagine the first light of morning touching the earth, softly awakening flowers, trees, and all living things in a tender embrace. A story tells of a monk who each day silently thanked the earth beneath his feet, the sky above, and the breath that kept him alive. As you lie here, invite gratitude to rise quietly in your chest. Feel it as warmth, as light, as a gentle presence without demand. If you rest in this silence of thanks, what blooms within you? If words fall away, what gift does gratitude offer your heart? Rest now embraced by the calm blessing of silent gratitude. The softness of compassion is like a gentle rain falling on parched earth. It soothes, nourishes, and awakens the capacity to care deeply without strain. Zen teaches compassion as the natural expression of awakened heart, not forced or contrived, but flowing freely from understanding. Imagine a mother cradling her child tenderly, her touch light, yet full of love. This same softness can dwell within you, ready to be shared with yourself and others. A story tells of a monk who tended to a wounded bird, caring for it patiently until it could fly again. As you lie here, let compassion settle softly in your heart. Allow it to embrace your fears, your struggles, and your joys alike. If you open to compassion, what healing might arise? If silence speaks, what message will it bring? Rest now in the warm softness of your own compassionate heart. Falling into the present is like sinking into a warm, gentle pool. There is no need to swim or struggle, only to relax and be held by the moment itself. Zen teaches that true peace comes from complete presence, not caught in the past or future, but fully here and now. Imagine yourself lying beneath a vast sky, the air soft around you. All worries melt away as you rest in this expansive stillness. A story tells of a monk who, while walking, suddenly stopped and smiled, realizing that the entire path was already beneath his feet. As you lie here, allow yourself to fall fully into now. Let go of all effort, all tension, and simply be. If you surrender to presence, what unfolds? If silence listens, what does it reveal? Rest now, deeply cradled by the vastness of this present moment. The deep well of calm lies beneath all the surface noise, a vast reservoir of peace always available to you. Though thoughts, worries, and distractions ripple like waves above the well, remain steady and undisturbed. Zen teaches that beneath the restless mind, your true nature is quiet and unchanging. You can return here anytime by simply resting your attention gently. Imagine drawing water from a deep well. The coolness refreshes, soothing the heat of the day. This well of calm is within you, a sanctuary you can visit at will. A story tells of a monk who, amid chaos, would close his eyes and imagine dipping into this well. Each visit brought renewed clarity and calm. As you lie here now, feel yourself sink deeper into this well of calm. Let its cool stillness wash over your body and mind. If you drink deeply, what peace fills you? If silence whispers, what will it say? Rest now in the endless calm that waits beneath all else. The final breath before sleep carries you gently into rest. It is the last whisper of consciousness, a soft surrender to the night's embrace. In Zen, the breath is the bridge between waking and sleeping, a thread that connects the fullness of life with the mystery of rest. Imagine a candle flickering one last time before the flame fades. In that moment, there is no struggle, only gentle release. A story tells of a master who taught that the final breath is not an end, but a return to the source, a merging with the infinite. As you lie here, feel your breath slow, becoming lighter and more subtle. Allow it to carry you effortlessly toward deep, peaceful sleep. If you let go completely, what will the silence of night hold for you? A whisper beneath the sutras. You are seated in a quiet corner of the temple library, where the walls breathe with old texts and silence. Scrolls rest in wooden trays like sleeping elders, their ink faded, their edges worn smooth by many hands. A candle flickers beside you, its light soft and golden, dancing across the rice paper pages. You unroll one sutra slowly, gently, not to study, but simply to be with it. Its words are precise, rhythmic, carefully transcribed. A river of teachings flowing from the ancients through brush and breath into the present. You read, but do not rush. You let the silence between lines carry you as much as the teachings themselves, and soon something unexpected happens. You begin to hear something that isn't written, a subtle whisper beneath the sutras. Not a sound in your ears, but a presence between the words. A kind of spaciousness. A quiet that says this too is the Dharma. You remember what the master once said while handing you a scroll. The words are like a lantern, but they are not the light. You sit with that. Each sentence you read now glows with both meaning and emptiness. You see the effort behind it, the transmission, the care. But you also see its limits. The map is not the path. The finger is not the moon. A story stirs in your memory, a student who memorized hundreds of sutras and asked his teacher, "Have I understood?" The master struck the scroll from his hands and said, "Only when you can walk through the world with empty palms." The teaching was not a rejection of the sutras. It was a reminder that the deepest truth is not trapped in language. It is what lives in the breath between phrases, the feeling before thought, the awareness before analysis. You close the scroll now slowly with reverence, not discarding it, but bowing to what it pointed toward. The whisper remains, a stillness so complete it does not need words. A silence that doesn't ask you to stop thinking, only to notice what arises when thinking fades. You sit longer than you planned. The candle burns lower, but you do not rush. Each breath opens a little more space. Each pause deepens the listening. If a teaching cannot be spoken, can it still be heard? And if truth lives beneath the words, where does it rest in you? The temple dog's dharma. The morning is still soft, barely waking. Mist curls around the stone lanterns like forgotten thoughts, and the dew on the temple steps glistens like quiet blessings. As you wander through the courtyard, the silence is not empty. It is alive like the hush before a deep knowing. Near the bell tower, curled in a patch of sunlight, lies an old temple dog. He raises his head as you approach, but does not move. His eyes meet yours, clear, gentle, untroubled. No fear, no expectation, just presence. You sit beside him on the stone, feeling the warmth of the morning seep into your skin. The dog sighs once, then lays his head back down with the kind of peace that cannot be faked. A passing monk notices you and smiles. He has been here longer than most of us, the monk says. He never learned to chant, never studied a single sutra, but he lives the Dharma better than many who have. You nod slowly. The dog doesn't need to understand the Four Noble Truths. He suffers, he rests, he eats, he grows old, all without resisting his own nature. He doesn't try to be awakened. He simply is. There's a Zen saying, "The ordinary mind is the way." And here it is, not in a scroll, not in a shrine, but in this moment beside a dog who knows nothing of enlightenment, and yet sleeps more deeply than you ever have. You think of the koan where a monk asks, "Does a dog have Buddha nature?" The master replies, "Mu not yes, not no, but an answer that invites you to drop the question entirely. Because the question is a trap. Because Buddha nature is not a possession, but a recognition. And the dog has never forgotten what you've spent years trying to remember." He yawns, stretches slowly, and turns in a circle before settling again. There is no urgency in him, no striving, just being. And in watching him, something inside you softens. The part of you that always needs to do more, prove more, understand more, it loosens its grip. The monk crouches nearby and scratches the dog behind the ears. He once followed a master on a walking meditation for hours, never out of duty, just out of love. And isn't that the true practice? To walk beside what is with, no need to change it. You let your hand rest gently on the dog's back. His breath is steady. His fur is coarse but warm. There is nothing spiritual here, and yet everything is sacred. No mantras, no incense, no philosophy, just sunlight, stillness, and the steady beat of a quiet heart. If wisdom can wag its tail, why are we still searching? And if presence asks for nothing, will you offer it even to yourself when the candle forgets the flame? Night falls again across the hills, and the temple slips into its evening hush, not asleep, but deeply resting. You move through the corridor, slowly drawn by the soft glow at the far end of the hall. There, on a low table, a single candle burns. Its light flickers, gently unbothered by your presence. You sit before it, cross-legged, watching the tiny flame dance above the slowly melting wax. The candle is nearing its end. The wax has hollowed into a pool around the base, and the flame leans slightly with each breath of air that passes through the room. A monk kneels beside you, his presence as soft as the shadows. "Do you think the flame knows it's dying?" he asks, his voice barely above a whisper. You pause, unsure whether to answer. He smiles gently. "Once I asked my teacher what enlightenment was. He said, it's when the candle forgets the flame and becomes light itself." The words settle into you like warm tea. You look at the candle again. It does not strain to burn. It does not fight the melting. It simply gives itself away quietly, completely, with no concern for how long it will last. And you begin to see this is the path too. We spend so much time protecting the self, preserving the story, the image, the flame, that we forget the deeper light it was meant to share. We fear the melting, the changing, the fading, not realizing that in letting go, we begin to glow from something beyond our form. In Zen, there is a tale of a monk who held tightly to his teachings, his robes, his posture. Every act was precise, every gesture dignified. One day, his master handed him a candle and said, "Teach with this." The monk sat before a student and said nothing. When the candle burned out, the student bowed and whispered, "Now I understand." What did he understand? Perhaps that the Dharma is not in the form, but in the giving. Perhaps that the flame was never the truth, only the warmth it left behind. You breathe slowly, watching the candle sink deeper into its own wax. A small bead of molten white rolls down its side like a single tear, not of sadness, but of release. The monk speaks again, eyes soft. "You are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your name. You are the warmth that remains when all those things are gone." and then the candle flickers. It trembles once, and it goes out. No noise, no drama, just a quiet ending. And the room, though darker, feels somehow fuller, as if the flame had been hiding a deeper light. You sit in that dimness now, calm and still. You feel no loss, only peace. What if the self was only the candle? What if you've always been the light, the koan you are living? The morning mist hasn't lifted yet. It wraps the temple grounds in a soft stillness, as if the world itself is sitting zazen. You walk slowly along a gravel path, the ground beneath your feet, making only the faintest sound, like memory whispering to itself. At the edge of the courtyard, pinned to a cedar gate, you see a small slip of paper fluttering in the breeze. It reads, "What moves the wind, the flag, or the mind?" You've heard this koan before. The ancient story tells of two monks watching a flag flutter. One says the flag is moving. The other says no, the wind is moving. Their teacher Huineng overhears and says, neither the flag nor the wind moves. The mind is moving. You walk further, the words echoing inside you. What is moving? What is still? Later in the tea hall, the master joins you without a word. He pours 2 cups of tea. You raise yours, pause, and ask quietly, what moves the tea, the steam, or the self who drinks? He does not answer. He only smiles, takes a slow sip, and lets the steam drift past his face like passing thought. Zen doesn't offer solutions. It offers mirrors. And questions that don't close, they open. They aren't meant to be solved, but lived like a riddle that breathes with you. You realize you've been trying to understand the koan, like a puzzle, something to fix with the intellect. But what if it's not for the mind at all? What if it's a reflection held up to the heart, asking not for logic, but for seeing? You are the wind. You are the flag. You are the mind. And still you are something else. The awareness watching all 3 move. A bird lands nearby. The sound of its wings startles you slightly. It chirps, once hops, then flies again. Nothing is explained, but something is understood. A koan is like this, a breath in the dark. A match struck in a cave, not to light the whole world, but to reveal that you are already holding the torch. You sit still now, cup of tea warm in your hands, and let the koan live inside you. Not as a question to be conquered, not as a gate to be passed, but as a companion, a presence. The master finally speaks gently. The greatest koan is the one you are living now. You look around, the tea, the steam, the silence. It is all part of it, and you realize there is no answer coming. Only awareness, only now, only this. If the riddle has no end, can you rest inside its asking? And if you are the koan, will you stop trying to solve yourself? Sitting with the Buddha who sleeps. The afternoon is warm and still. You make your way along the shaded corridor that leads to the western garden, where the air carries the scent of moss and sandalwood. At the garden's heart rests a great stone Buddha, not seated in meditation, nor standing in blessing, but reclining gently, eyes half-closed, lips curved in the faintest smile. This is the Buddha in his final rest, not dying, not ending, but returning. You sit near the statue in the soft grass. The sound of birds murmuring in the trees, the occasional creak of bamboo, the hush of your own breath, all weave together into a silence that does not sleep but dreams. A monk joins you, his steps barely brushing the ground. He places a small offering of fruit beside the statue and then turns to you. "We call him the sleeping Buddha," he says, "but he is more awake now than ever." You nod, not quite understanding, yet not resisting. In Buddhism, this image is not one of sorrow. It is not an end. It is a teaching in stillness. The final moment of Shakyamuni Buddha lying peacefully, without fear, without grasping, without resistance. You gaze at the statue's expression. It is not ecstatic. It is not sorrowful. It is utterly at peace, as if nothing more needs to be done, nothing more needs to be known. And you begin to feel the echo of that in yourself. You recall the story of a disciple who wept at the Buddha's passing, saying, "How can we go on without you?" The Buddha replied gently, "Be a lamp unto yourselves." He was not asking them to follow. He was asking them to rest in the light already within. The monk beside you says softly, "When the body lies down, the mind can stand up." This sleep is not sleep. It is the end of chasing. And what is chasing if not the root of all suffering? We chase enlightenment. We chase stillness. We even chase the idea of not chasing. And still the mind runs like a dog pursuing its own tail. But the Buddha here is not chasing. He is not teaching. He is not anything. He is simply being. The monk sits with you in silence. No further words are needed. You lie back slowly in the grass, mirroring the posture of the reclining statue, one hand supporting the head, the other resting lightly on your thigh. And for the first time in a long while, your body remembers how to let go, how to stop holding itself upright, how to surrender without fear. The clouds drift overhead unhurried. The breeze carries no message. The world continues not around you, but within you, as you feel the pulse of existence slowing. There is no need to awaken. There is only the truth that awakening was never separate from rest. This moment does not need your effort. This breath does not need your will. It only needs your presence. You close your eyes, not to escape, but to return, to dream like the Buddha, to rest without fleeing, to sleep without forgetting. If awakening does not require striving, what might arise when you stop reaching? And if the Buddha can sleep in peace, will you let yourself sleep too? Not a monk, not a layperson. The sky is overcast this morning, a pale silver dome stretched above the trees. You walk slowly down a lesser-used path at the edge of the monastery, where moss grows thick over stone steps and wildflowers bloom without order or name. Halfway down the slope, you see a figure seated on a large, flat rock, not in robes, not in ordinary clothes either. Simple garments. No signs of title or rank. No beads, no alms bowl, no sutra scrolls. Just someone sitting, breathing, watching. You approach unsure if this is a monk from the temple or a traveler who has lost their way. But as you draw near, the figure looks up and smiles, not as one who welcomes a guest, but as one who greets an equal. You sit beside them. Silence follows natural and unforced. After some time you speak. "Are you a monk?" They shake their head. "No." "A layperson?" They shrug gently. "Not really." You wait, expecting more. But they turn their gaze back to the trees, as if the wind rustling through the leaves were more important than definitions. Then they speak. "I used to be both, and neither. Now I just sit." Their words settle inside you like soft rain. There is a story in Zen of a monk who once renounced even his robes, saying, "The Dharma is not bound by cloth." He left the temple, walked into the forest, and when asked who he was, he replied, "I am no one, and that is enough." This person beside you, they remind you of that tale. They do not reject the path, but they do not cling to its labels. They walk the way without needing to prove it. You feel something loosen inside you, a small knot untangling the one tied up with the idea of who you are supposed to be, your role, your identity, your image. What if you didn't need to be a monk, or a seeker, or anything? What if your presence, just as it is already enough? The figure speaks again softly. The way is not walked with robes or titles. It is walked by being honest with each step. You look down at your feet. The path beneath is simple. Dirt, stone, root. Nothing sacred. Nothing separate. And yet each step you've taken to this place feels like a return. You ask, "Do you still practice?" They smile. "I breathe. I sit. I sleep. Sometimes I laugh." Is that practice? You don't answer. You don't need to. Because in their words, you hear the echo of a truth too simple to be called a teaching. The wind moves again. Birdsong flickers through the trees. The figure beside you rises slowly, bows once, and walks away without sound. No title, no farewell, just presence dissolving into the forest. You remain on the rock a while longer, breathing, watching. Not a seeker, not a teacher, just this, just here. Who are you when there's nothing left to be? The Dharma of falling leaves. It is late afternoon. The sun slips gently through the tall maples that line the temple's eastern garden, where the leaves have begun to change. Their colors, amber, rust, gold, speak of endings, but not of sorrow. You walk quietly through the scattered foliage, the ground beneath your feet, whispering with each step. A breeze stirs, and suddenly a flurry of leaves releases from the branches above. They descend in spirals, each one following its own invisible path, yet all falling together. You pause and watch. It does not feel like loss. It feels like grace. A monk nearby rakes the leaves not into neat piles but into wide, curving patterns along the ground. You approach. He nods at the falling leaves and says, "The trees teach the Dharma this time of year." Are you listening? You sit nearby, listening not just to his words, but to the leaves as they settle soft, soundless, unresisting. Letting go, he continues, is the first step toward becoming. You think of how tightly you've held certain moments, identities, longings. The way the mind clings like branches, trying to hold every leaf, fearing that their absence would make the tree less alive. But here the tree does not resist. It lets go, and in doing so becomes something new. There's a Zen story of a student watching autumn leaves fall. He asks his master, "Should we mourn the death of summer?" The master shakes his head and replies, "Only if we mourn the birth of winter. Impermanence is not a problem. It is the rhythm of life. You reach out and catch a leaf before it hits the ground. Its edges are curled, its color deep and complex, no longer green, no longer striving. It has done its work. It now returns not as failure, but as offering." The monk gestures toward the trees. The leaf doesn't ask why. It doesn't hold on. It falls, and in that falling, it fulfills its path. You feel a tenderness rise in you, not grief, but a soft recognition. There are parts of yourself ready to fall. Ideas of who you were. Stories that no longer need repeating. Emotions whose season has passed, and yet, you've kept them clinging to the branches of your mind. What if you let them go? What if you allowed your own changes to descend like these leaves, without panic, without regret? As you sit beneath the trees, more leaves fall. Some drift into your lap. Others twirl in the breeze before touching down. None fall the same way. None question the ground. The monk stops raking. He looks at you and says, "When you can fall like a leaf completely honestly, then you will know freedom. And perhaps now you are ready to fall, to let go, to land not with fear but with peace. If every leaf can let go without knowing where it will land, can you?" Beyond the third noble truth, the bell sounds softly from across the valley, echoing through the late evening air. Its resonance is not urgent. It does not call you to action. It calls you to stillness. You sit near the old stone fountain in the temple courtyard, where water drips in slow, rhythmic drops from a bamboo pipe. Each drop lands with a sound like a thought dissolving. Soft, brief, complete. A monk joins you carrying a small bundle of incense and a gentle smile. He places a stick into the sand, lights it, and watches the smoke spiral upward before saying, "Suffering ends." But that is not the end. You nod, remembering the third noble truth, the cessation of suffering. Nirodha. The realization that when craving ceases, so does the dissatisfaction, the grasping, the ache. The mind settles, the heart unclenches, but the monk is pointing further beyond the ending of suffering, toward something quieter, more subtle. He continues, "Many stop there. They think that peace means nothing hurts anymore. But peace is not the absence of pain, it is the absence of resistance. The smoke rises between you, curling, then disappearing. It does not resist vanishing. It simply becomes space." There's an old Zen story of a man who reaches a high mountain temple and declares, "I have ended suffering." The master only asks, "Then who is celebrating?" The question lingers in your mind like mist. Who is it that is free? Who is it that knows peace? If suffering ends, what remains? The monk touches the ground with his palm. After suffering ceases, the real path begins. The path of living freely. The path of deep presence. This is the subtle teaching. Freedom is not just from pain. It is freedom within life, as it is including joy, sorrow, and everything in between. You notice the water again. The way it falls drop by drop into the pool without hesitation. The ripples expand, then vanish. The surface stills only to be touched again. So it is with the mind, the heart. One moment of contact, one moment of stillness, over and over. Freedom is not a wall to hide behind. It is a door that opens to everything. The monk stands and bows. Beyond the third truth is a life of simplicity, clarity, and love. Not perfect, not untouched, but awake. And so you sit with that. You do not try to stop your thoughts. You do not run from the world. You simply let go of the need for it to be otherwise, and something opens quietly like a window on a windless day. If suffering can end, What begins in its place? And if peace is not escape but arrival, are you already home? Tea with no beginning. Evening has wrapped the temple in its soft indigo robe. Lanterns have been lit not to chase away the dark, but to sit with it. Their glow hums gently along the walkways, casting long shadows that move like flowing silk. You find yourself invited into the tea hut, a simple wooden room with no ornament, just a floor, a low table, and the fragrance of roasted leaves. A monk gestures for you to sit. He moves without rush, placing the teapot on the coals, then waiting. Not speaking, not explaining, just preparing. The water heats slowly. The room grows warm. You watch the rising steam, and the quiet hush of presence fills you. Tell me, the monk says, without looking up, when does the tea begin? You open your mouth, unsure what he means. With the boiling water, the pouring, the first sip, he smiles slightly, sensing your pause. You see, he continues. We think things have beginnings and endings, but where is the true start of tea? In the leaf, the rain that fed the bush, the hands that plucked and dried it, or the silence we share now. The question is not meant to be answered. It is meant to loosen your grasp on time, on identity, on the illusion of separation. In Buddhism, we call this dependent origination, that nothing arises independently, but is the result of countless causes and conditions. There is no true beginning, only arising, only unfolding. The tea begins everywhere. The Zen master Dogen once said, "When you truly understand the tea, you will see the whole universe in the cup." The monk pours slowly. The tea flows like breath, steady, unforced, complete in its motion. You take the cup with both hands. It is warm, light. You sip. It tastes of soil and sun and cloud and fire. But most of all, it tastes of this moment, clear, unrepeatable, fully here. No fanfare, no ceremony, just tea, just now. The monk sips his own and says quietly, "There is no first sip, there is no last. Only this drinking and the awareness of it." You feel something soften inside you. The need to grasp, to define, to trace beginnings and endings. The mind that always wants a line, a story, a border, it lets go just a little. And in that space, peace. The steam rises again, dissolves. You sit a while longer in silence, feeling how everything, even this, is connected to what came before and what will follow. The tea, the fire, your breath, the monk's quiet presence, none of it exists alone. You are not alone and never were. If there is no beginning, is there anything to chase? And if this sip is the whole path, will you taste it fully? The master's final bow. Dawn spills slowly over the horizon. The sky glows pale gold, and a hush lingers in the air, not emptiness, but reverence, like the pause between the last note of a song and the silence that follows. You stand at the edge of the courtyard near the great cedar gate. Today is the master's departure. He has not died. He has simply decided to leave. No ceremony, no farewell speech, just a quiet walk into the mountains. Word spread only hours ago. Still monks and novices gather, lining the paths in soft rows, hands folded, heads gently bowed. Not in grief, in respect, in gratitude. You remember your first lesson with him. Not a talk, not a rule, but a shared moment of sweeping leaves. His silence taught more than words. His stillness invited stillness. His laughter, rare and light, echoed for days. Now he walks barefoot down the long stone path, his robe simple, his back straight. He carries no bag, no scrolls, not even a staff. As if to say, what I leave behind is nothing you can hold. He reaches the end of the line, turns slowly, and bows. Just once. It is not a bow of farewell. It is not a performance. It is an offering of presence, of humility, of completion without conclusion. Then he walks through the gate, past the stone marker, into the forest's embrace. No one speaks, no one follows. You sit where he once sat, beneath the Bodhi tree in the garden. A novice walks by and sets down the master's cushion beside you. You do not know what to say. You do not know what to feel, but you breathe. You remember a Zen tale. A master on the day of his passing wrote 3 words on the wall, no more teaching. And then he smiled, bowed to the wind, and was gone. What remains? Not the teacher, not the words, only the space they once filled, now wide open. Only the light that lingered, asking for nothing. The monk beside you murmurs, "He gave us everything and left us nothing," and somehow that feels like the greatest gift of all. You rise and walk the path he walked, not to chase him, not to understand, but to feel what it means to bow once completely and let go. If the master can vanish without leaving a trace, what are you still holding? And if the final bow is also a beginning, will you step forward with empty hands, sleeping while awake? The midday heat settles over the temple like a heavy robe. Insects hum softly in the brush, and the garden paths shimmer slightly in the sun. You find your way to the meditation hall, expecting coolness and silence. Instead, you find a room filled with sleeping monks. They are not sprawled in disorder. They lie in stillness. Robes, neatly folded hands resting gently on their bellies, breath rising and falling in soft, rhythmic waves. One monk, still seated upright, gestures to a free mat. "You may rest," he whispers. "Sleep. But do not drift away." You hesitate. You came to meditate, not nap. But then you remember Zen does not separate the sacred from the simple. Eating is practice. Walking is practice. Sweeping is practice. Why not sleeping? You lie down on the mat, adjusting your body slowly, deliberately. The cushion supports your head. The floor beneath you feels steady, unjudging. You let your eyes close, not to escape, but to arrive. There's a story of a monk who was once scolded for sleeping during zazen. The master, watching from afar, only smiled and said, "He sleeps more mindfully than most meditate." The point is not wakefulness. The point is awareness. Even in sleep, there is a letting go, a trust, a surrender to what is. You focus on your breath, letting it rock you like a small boat on a calm sea. Each inhale opens a little space. Each exhale releases a little weight. You begin to feel it, that edge between waking and dreaming, where the mind loosens its grip and the heart starts to speak in symbols. A monk nearby shifts slightly in his rest. His breath deepens. A smile curves across his face. You realize he is not unconscious. He is not escaping. He is resting fully in the Dharma, as naturally as a leaf resting on water. The master once said, "When the body rests, the ego softens. And here in this hall of soft breathing and still forms, you see how true it is. What if all your seeking, all your effort to awaken was already resting within you, waiting for you to be still enough to hear it? No koans, no effort, no resistance, just this moment, just this breath, just this sleep. You feel yourself drifting not away, but into a deeper layer of presence, into a space where doing ends and being begins. If sleep and awareness are not opposites, what awakens when the mind rests? And if you let go completely, who do you become? Not two, not one. Twilight stretches across the temple like a slow breath exhaled. You step into the garden as lanterns begin to glow along the path, their light neither piercing nor fading, but balanced soft like the moment itself. At the edge of the reflecting pond, a monk stands looking out over the still water. You walk to stand beside him. He doesn't turn, but speaks quietly. Is that the moon? Or its reflection? You follow his gaze. The moon above is pale and full serene in the fading sky. Below in the water, it floats shivering slightly with each ripple, yet no less whole. The moon, he says, is not in the pond, and yet it is. He pauses, then adds, "You are not your thoughts, and yet you are." The surface of the pond trembles as a breeze brushes across it. The moon's image shimmers, distorts, but does not disappear. The real moon remains untouched. This is the teaching of non-duality, not two, not one. The self is not separate from the world, nor is it fully identical. There is no clean line between inside and outside, between watcher and watched. You remember the Zen saying the 10,000 things return to the one. Where does the one return? Perhaps here to the moon and the moon in water. To you and the awareness that watches you. The monk kneels at the water's edge and dips his fingers into the pond. The moon's image breaks, reforms, continues. Do not seek to grasp the real, he says, nor reject the reflection. Both are true. Both are passing. A story drifts into memory of a student who asked the master, which is more real, the world or the mind? The master handed him a mirror and said, "Tell me, does the mirror reflect the world or the mind that sees it?" You sit by the pond, feeling the cool air touch your face. You close your eyes and try to find the boundary between your body and the wind, between the moon and its echo. There is none. Everything flows into everything. You, the night, the thoughts drifting in your mind, all are waves on the same sea. Not separate. Not the same, just this. You open your eyes again. The pond is still. The moon floats calmly. You no longer need to name it real or reflection. It is both. It is neither. It simply is, and so are you. If the moon and its reflection are not two, and not one, what are you? And if the truth has no edges, will you rest inside its vastness, touching the Dharma with your feet? The sun has warmed the stone walkways all day, and now as evening deepens, the heat remains gentle, comforting, like a memory that doesn't fade. You step out from the meditation hall, barefoot, letting your feet touch the earth directly, no sandals, no cushion. The stone is warm, but already cooling. You feel each grain, each smooth surface and crack. You walk slowly, not from tiredness, but from attention. Every step becomes a point of contact between body and world. This is not walking to get somewhere. This is walking to arrive in every step. A monk passes by nodding at your bare feet. That's the oldest teaching, he says. Before scrolls, before sutras, before any word was spoken. He walks on, leaving the sentence open like a gate that doesn't close. You think of the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree, how his awakening came not from climbing upward, but from touching the earth. When Mara challenged him, when doubt and fear arose, the Buddha did not argue. He reached down and touched the ground. That touch, steady, silent, simple, was his witness. You walk on past the garden, where bees settle in the last blooms of the day. Your feet move slowly, and the contact becomes clear, the coolness of shadowed stones, the shift of moss, the crunch of gravel. Each step is a dialogue, not thought and theory, but skin and soil. You pause at a place where the path ends and the grass begins. It's cooler here, softer. Your body responds without needing to name the sensation. This too is practice. There's a Zen story of a student who asked, "Where is the Dharma?" The master said, "Beneath your feet." The student looked down. "I see only dirt." The master replied, "Then walk until it speaks." You feel it now. Not a voice, not a concept. Just the presence of the ground holding you, welcoming you, asking nothing. And you begin to sense that this direct, simple contact may be all you ever needed. Not belief, not understanding, just the experience of being here, of being supported, of being real. As you walk back, the stones have cooled further. Your breath is slower, the mind less noisy, the body more at ease. You are not trying to learn anymore. You are just walking, just feeling, just touching the Dharma with your feet. If wisdom lives in books, why does the earth feel like a teacher? And if truth is not spoken, will you still listen step by step? The Sutra of Sleeping Birds. Dusk gathers like folded wings across the temple grounds. The sky deepens into lavender, then into indigo, as the lanterns begin to flicker to life one by one. You sit beneath a large tree near the outer wall, its branches wide, protective. The day exhales slowly around you. Above you, tucked into the darkening leaves, birds rustle and chirp. Not in fear, not in song. Just the last quiet murmurs before sleep. You listen, eyes half closed. Their calls soften, shorten, then fall silent altogether. A monk settles down beside you without words, his robe brushing against the grass. Together you look up into the fading light. They know when to sleep, the monk says almost to himself. No one tells them. They don't wait for the right moment. They feel it, and they let go. The quiet that follows is not empty. It is full of rest, full of unspoken teachings. You think of sutras, the long texts recited in halls, the sacred syllables passed down with care. But here the birds have offered a different kind of sutra. No language, no logic. Just a shared surrender to the rhythm of life. A story surfaces. A student once asked the master, "What should I recite to calm my heart?" The master pointed to the woods and said, "The forest has been chanting all night. Go listen." You sit longer, letting the coolness of night settle into your bones. The earth breathes beneath you. The leaves barely move. The birds above are still weightless in their rest. Nothing stirs them. Nothing presses them to stay awake. They have no questions to answer, no tasks left undone. You wonder what it would mean to live like that, to know when to stop, not by the clock, but by the heart. To sleep not from exhaustion, but from peace. The monk exhales slowly. Sleep is not forgetting, he says. It is the body's bow to impermanence. The sky darkens further, and one by one the stars begin to appear, not as something added, but as something revealed. You lie back on the grass arms, loose mind quiet. No more effort, no more need to recite anything. The birds have spoken! The wind replies in silence. You feel your breath slow, and like them, you let yourself begin to sleep, not as escape, but as return. If rest is the truest sutra, will you let it be spoken in you? And if the birds know when to stop, can you the cloak of emptiness? Night has deepened into silence. The temple lights are dimmed now, and the stars shimmer faintly overhead, like pinholes in a dark veil. You walk slowly across the inner courtyard, a simple cotton robe wrapped loosely around your shoulders. It is warm enough, but you pull it tighter, not against cold, but as if to hold something closer this moment. A monk walks beside you, also cloaked in simple cloth. He stops beneath the plum tree and gestures to your robe. Do you know what you're wearing? He asks, though. It's clear he means more than fabric. You smile, unsure how to answer. This, he says softly, is the cloak of emptiness. You blink. But it's just a robe. He nods. Exactly. The wind stirs the branches above, scattering a few petals onto the stones. They fall soundlessly, landing like forgotten thoughts. The monk continues. Everything we wear, our names, our roles, our ideas, they feel like garments, but none of them last. The robe you wear now, it doesn't make you a monk. It doesn't make you wise. It only reminds you that underneath everything, there is space. You touch the cloth at your chest. It's rough in some places, smoothed in others by use, by time. There's no embroidery, no symbol, no signature, just plain fabric wrapped in a certain way. He says, in Zen, we speak of emptiness not as nothing, but as openness. Not void, but vastness. Not cold absence, but warm space, the kind of space where everything can be received and nothing needs to be held. You sit together beneath the tree. There is no doctrine in the robe, only the teaching of simplicity, only the reminder that when you remove the layers of identity, gender, age, beliefs, memories, what remains is not blankness, but boundless peace. There's a tale of a Zen master who in his final teaching removed his robes, folded them with care, and placed them on a cushion. Then he bowed and said, "This is what I've been trying to teach all along." He meant you don't need anything to be what you already are. No status, no special knowledge, no proof. You are already whole beneath the robes of self. The monk now wraps his own robe tighter. Even the robe must be let go one day. But for now it reminds us emptiness is not the absence of meaning. It's the end of needing meaning to be complete. You lean back against the tree, the robe soft against your skin, your breath slow, steady. Nothing feels missing, and you begin to understand this robe, like your thoughts. Your body, your name is only borrowed for a time. And what's beneath? Stillness, space, peace. If emptiness is not something to fear, what will you let fall away? And if you are not your robe, who rests beneath it? home before you began. You walk the temple grounds once more, but something is different now. The stones beneath your feet feel familiar, though you've never truly counted them. The wind sounds softer, not because it has changed, but because you have. Everything appears just as it did when you arrived, and yet nothing is the same. You pass the garden gate, the tea hut, the bench where you first sat in silence. The birds still sleep in the trees. The bamboo still bends with the breeze. The incense still curls into the air, but now you do not chase the scent. You do not search for meaning. You simply walk. You remember the words spoken to you long ago, perhaps by a master, or maybe only by the voice within you. The path does not lead away. It leads you back. At first you thought it meant returning to the temple, but now you see more clearly. It means returning to yourself, not the self of identity and name, but the self before all that. The self that watches the breath without needing to hold it. The self that listens and becomes the listening. You reach the meditation hall, but you do not enter. You no longer need the cushion to be still. You no longer need the teachings to be taught. You sit beneath a tree near the edge of the grounds, the place where you once thought the journey ended. And now you see there was no journey at all. Only a series of invitations to return to what was never separate, never distant, never lost. The teaching is not a destination. It is not enlightenment like a peak to climb. It is the falling away of the seeker, the disappearance of the path, the quiet joy of realizing you are already home. You lie back in the grass. The earth is soft, the sky vast. A single star twinkles through the branches above, not to guide you, but to remind you there is nothing more to find. You smile not because something has been gained, but because nothing needs to be held anymore. And in that release, you are free. If the destination was never elsewhere, and the teaching never apart. Will you let yourself rest here at last? No more questions. No more answers. Only this stillness, only this breath, only this moment as it is. Now the lanterns are out. The teachings are quiet. The journey has come to its soft conclusion, not with a gate closing, but with no more gates at all. You lie here in stillness. The breath moves gently in and out like the tide against the shore. Nothing more to carry, nothing more to chase, nothing more to become. You are enough, as you are. Here, now. The robes of identity can fall away. The questions that once weighed heavily float. Even the concept of awakening dissolves into something simpler, something kinder. Sleep is not the opposite of practice. It is a continuation, a deeper release, a quieter bow. Let go now. Let the muscles soften. Let the thoughts come if they must then pass like clouds. Let the silence cradle you like the hands of the earth. The birds have long fallen still. The temple rests. Even the stars blink slowly. There is no wrong way to be here. You are already on the path even when lying still. You are already home even when drifting far. You are already whole even when undone. There is nothing left to prove. No further words. No need for effort. Only peace. Only breath. And if you're still awake, that's okay too. Some nights just lying still and breathing softly is enough to return home to yourself.